Bloody hell, how did that even happen? Right. Right, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, I had an issue with my Mac. I'm capturing this off the Mac and I somehow mirrored the display and it was capturing a display that the Vainglory stream wasn't on. I have no idea how I managed this, but I did. And now we're finally into draft and we're ready to go. And we finally have the stream going. Apologies, that won't happen again throughout the stream, hopefully. And Dalcy and Humanist, going to let you guys run through draft while I just get everything set back up.
No worries, Scoundrel. Good to be back. It is Lemon and Lime versus Memento Mori for our first game here, Humanist, the winners bracket. And we are into draft here, as you can see. It is Jewel Lance Band away, a Lyra pick, and a Darjo Kestrel as an answer for Memento Mori.
Yep, these guys locked in their picks pretty quick over for Memento Mori. And we mentioned, or we talked a little bit earlier about these teams. We did some analysis. I'm not sure if all that came through, but the consensus was we don't have as much information about Memento Mori, but they're pretty highly ranked players, so they should come in know what they're doing. Lemon and Lime take the Glaive. This is a really strong overall composition they got.
Yeah, and Lemon and Lime played Glaive Scarf quite a lot throughout their Blitz tournament recently, so with Blitz being on a very similar patch to the one that we're on now, I don't believe Glaive or Scarf was changed at all during patch 2.2, so update 2, I would say. So very strong composition with Lyra to provide a bit of healing. They did previously run it with an Arden. I kind of feel like Arden is a little bit more all-in, but I guess Lemon and Lime, they don't want to put all their eggs in one basket.
I do really like the Lyra. It's incredibly strong. It also shuts down Blackfeather really nicely. When you drop that Bright Bulwark and Blackfeather wants to just use Gap Close, there's a lot of time to be mobile through the fight, so you can get a lot of work done.
Kind of makes you wonder if Memento Mori just completely disrespect the fact that the Lyra is there, if they just completely back themselves coming into this match. It is, of course, game one as we jump on to the Halcyon Fold for the first winners bracket match between Lemon and Lime and Memento Mori. Welcome back, guys. Hopefully you are still with us as we work through these technical issues. The battle has begun.
The battle began like 10 minutes ago for Scoundrel. The battle has begun on the fold here for all of us now. Yeah, this is going to be pretty good stuff. The Glaive being in a weapon build is not something we see as much right now. I think they should have balance on this team, though, with the Scarf and coming through. So much CP damage.
Yeah, I kind of feel like EU likes to run weapon power Glaive, whereas NA likes to run CP with that Storm Guard, Storm Crown.
Storm Crown.
So, it just maybe it's a bit of a difference between the regional metas. But Mr. K-Cool, he's definitely proficient on the hero, so we'll have to see if it works out. But a lot of action already. And interestingly enough, there's Blackfeather in lane for Memento Mori. So is this a lane Blackfeather? Yeah, it is. At first I thought it would be a lane Kestrel. I guess lane Blackfeather also.
I think Blackfeather, he should do just fine. He can kind of trade if his on-point lands. He's pretty durable, and he picked up that Book of Eulogies early on, so if he is getting his last hits, he will be able to regen back up. So while Scarf might be able to poke, hit a Spitfire, or get a basic attack off, he will be able to regen that back up.
Yeah, and currently it is just all the aggression from Kezilia putting out the damage on this Adagio so that Esquire can focus on the CS, make sure that he's farming up. Bit of a jungle aggression from Mr. Keiko, currently sitting in that tri-bush, happens to see he does engage on to Azazel. Azazel?
I was thinking about that one earlier. I was just going to call him Aza. Yeah. Well, Ozzo's able to grab that one right there. Mr. Keiko almost claiming that mid. It would have been really nice for him to go ahead and snowball through the jungle, but because he has the Lyra with him and he saw Kestrel moving back, he should be able to take the Elder Treant down here.
Yeah, and that's really important to try and optimize the amount of times that you can get the XP to gold from the Elder Treant, as it does despawn at the 4-minute mark, and the jungle shop comes back on to the fold for a little bit of cheeky purchasing. Currently the momentum, it's fairly slow, a little bit of a gold lead in the favor of Memento Mori, and just a bit of CS differences being built up. Surprisingly, this Scarf doesn't have as much lane pressure, but Lemon and Lime, they want to change that, as here comes Mr. Keiko, and first blood gonna come through for Apfel as well. So really nice stuff, a bit of aggression really from Azazel there, and it was punished.
Yeah, really nice read out of Keiko. He sees that they're hanging out, posturing in that lane, and they were just a little too far forward there, so he abuses that. Really nice rotation out of Keiko, and I'd expect to see that out of him time and time again. And I think a lot of times when we do see glaives that fail, it's because they're not taking advantage of that afterburn as much as we saw right there. Yeah,
Glaive's strongest point is really the early game, when he can put people out of position. There's not enough defense to be able to survive being knocked back into the enemy team. But Lemon Lime, they have to be careful here, as Basil has come up for a bit of Glimmer Shot fun, and that is so much damage. No kills coming through, so Ghost will look to try and... Oh no! You overstepped, my friend! And Azazel will claim the kill.
Oh man, yeah, it is so much damage coming out, and the CP Kestrel, she's also just so sneaky. So right there, you saw it looked like Apfel was assuming that Kestrel decided to back up after, you know, the initial onslaught didn't result in a kill, but she just backs up, Regooses finds that kill. So they're gonna have to have vision down in this lane all across this whole map. Like eventually, I think Contraption might be the second item choice here.
Yeah, you can see already a bunch of flares, scout traps purchased up for Ghost as they're trying to work towards that fountain first, but you're right, a contraption early on would be necessary to try and shut down the sneakiness of the Kestrel, and you kind of want to make sure that you're not giving up too much before it comes through. Speaking of which, Azazel's back in lane, laying down the hurt train. Apfel, where are you going? Gets a bit of heal from the Lyra. That is a scary proposition. That's 4 Glimmer Shots, and Azazel has that 1-shot, 1-kill primed and ready. Here it comes! Straight onto Ghost.
Azazel's having some fun right now, yeah.
Absolutely. It's great to see that these teams still loving the Kestrel despite some of the nerfs she had. Gonna go for Esquire here, and oh wow, Esquire just about survives through the damage. Fountain coming up trumps for the Memento Mori team, and that Adagio can lay down a bit of heal as well.
Okay, so they used Fountain. Lyra just dipped down to shop. She picked up her own Fountain. Apfel was able to pick up an Eve of Harvest right about 4.5 minutes. So it's not what you're always going to see first item on Scarf, but I think with all of the harass he's taking in lane, it's not a bad item choice because he'll be able to regen up a little bit just by doing his own harassing.
Very respectful from Apfel to purchase that Eve of Harvest as his first item. Now we're going to see Azazel come back into the lane. This time though, Mr. Keiko is in lane as well, so it's going to be a bit of a standoff here. Who can do the most poke? Azazel so far is winning out the poke wars. And so Lemon Lime, they're going to just rotate as a unit down to the jungle shop, purchase up, get a bit of gold for themselves from the side camps as well, and then head back to continue the festivities in the lane.
Exactly. Kazilia getting some decent damage off there. He'll be forced back. One of the things also, the reason on that last rotation that Kestrel wasn't really able to do too much, Mr. Keiko was there, but it was a nice flare out of Ghost 83 into that right mustache brush, and it just prevents any sneakiness out of Kestrel. And if you know where the CP Kestrel is, it's really hard for her to actually find an impact.
Yeah, you need to be able to use your stealth to the fullest ability. A nice attempt of a one-shot onto Apfel, but he's able to dodge out. Esquire though, he wants to go deep to put down the damage onto Ghost, and as soon as Keslia puts that Agent of Wrath onto him, he's going to start doing a little bit more damage. So a very scary Black Feather to come from Memento Mori, and looks like Mr. Keiko's going to respond by coming up to a lane, try and provide a bit of threat, but Zazzle just doesn't care.
He doesn't care, and Kazilia has constant vision out.
Yep. Keiko's going to go in. Not quite able to find the damage there. Good burst though, going to lock him up. Here comes the Glimmer shots, and there goes the kill. Great stuff coming out of Azazel as he finds his second. Unfortunately, did go down in the fight as well. Was traded in the end. So the 1-for-1 trade does mean that there's not really much for Memento Mori to gain other than a couple of jungle camps. They are going to take that treant away and try and steal a bit of income from the glaive. And there it is, respawn, one shot onto Apfil.
That's 50% of his total health pool with that one shot, and this isn't buffed up by Broken Myth or anything. I mean, it's just Shatter, Piercing Shard. This guy is starting to hit like a truck right now. It's gonna get scarier and scarier, but on the flip side, Scarf is one of the best late scaling game heroes that we actually have in Vainglory, and Apple's doing all right. He's a little bit behind in his farm overall, but he will have impact here.
Yeah, just needs to make sure that he continues last hitting up. It is a bit of a lead though, 20 CS for Esquire. It's nothing to shake your head at. He has to be careful though, as he is a little bit caught out here. Just dances away, and now the fire is on Apfil as Memento Mori look to turn cheek. Look to try and trade the damage. Ghost taking a lot of damage. Mr. Keiko 1v3. Apfil trying to lay down. Hurt Azazel will fall. And Mr. Keiko now he can play cleanup as he's going for Esquire. Kez will fall to that Lyra. And the double kill for Mr. Keiko. And Lemon and Lime gonna find an ace and now look for this turret.
Yeah, that was a really nice fight coming out of Lemon and Lime. I mean, it looked like for, I would say, the first 75% of that entire team fight, that Lemon and Lime were losing that fight, and they were probably going to lose maybe two members of their team. They held their fountain for a really long time. Ghost 83 pops that, they turn around and regoose. And part of this, the reason that they can do this is Mr. Keiko, one shot comes through. Mr. Keiko is doing respectable damage with his build because, you know, we have seen a lot of cooldown glaives. We've seen glaives that want to go for just some bursty kind of builds, but he's going for the Sorrow Blade. And based off the items he has, if he goes to complete a breaking point, that means they're going to have to actually deal with him because he's just going to stack up on that breaking point through these fights.
Yeah, they have the Scarf for the poke, and then Mr. Keiko, a consistent sustained threat on the back line who can do that cleave damage as well. So it's actually a really nice, well-rounded composition because it means Memento Mori, they either have to just blow up at full straight off the bat or deal with Mr. Keiko, who's going to be damaging the back line. And there it is, that breaking point will be purchased. So now the threat is real for Memento Mori.
Oh, real threats. I mean, they have to respect what can happen here. The last engage, Mr. Keiko actually missed his initial afterburn, which was what put them in a bad position to start with. So if he lands that, they could really take a clean ace.
Have to see. It looks like they are just going to back away, steal away some jungle presence, maybe get a bit of vision down in the form of some contraptions as well. Scout traps even. That contraption hasn't come through yet. It's going to be a very early war tread, in fact, for Ghosts, so that they can engage a fight instantly, get onto the back line.
Yeah, I'm just keeping my eyes on defensive items here, and I do think an Atlas Pauldron is going to be pretty important for both of these teams. Probably we'll see one come out of the Black Feather, and potentially the Glaive as well, and they'll be looking to apply those on each other as they look to engage.
Yes, certainly. Be good for Mr. Keiko as he's jumping onto the back line. Expect the same from Esquire, possibly from the Adagio as well. But we'll have to see, as it looks like the teams are getting ready for some more fun. Bit of poke in the lane. It is that first turret and a gold mine for Lemon and Lime, so they do have a pretty nice gold lead, and Esquire just taking so much damage from that Spitfire Gloop combo. Here comes Mr. Keiko looking for the engage. Will show himself here. Now, just up to Lemon and Lime to pull the trigger onto this one. And then Mori are backing away. Very close there by Azazel.
Yeah, this is just a poke war back and forth right now. One of the things that almost works against this Lyra and against Lemon Lime is that when she drops that Imperial Sigil to go ahead and heal her team up, they all kind of group up and sit on it. And I've noticed a couple times Azazel's just drops like 2-3 Glimmer shots right into that little grouping, and half the time they're walking away with less health than they started with.
Yeah, something to be careful of. There's the Atlas Pauldrons that you were talking about. 2 come through from Memento Mori.
That's a huge power spike.
To see how that affects this next fight, as Mr. K-Cool currently just waiting for an afterburn over the wall. If one of the members from Memento Mori steps into that choke point, you can expect them to get knocked back into a place they do not want to be. And here is the engage.
He wants that
gonna
Kestrel.
go for it. There it is, and there it is. The Kestrel gets completely bursted. Azazel gets dropped. The verse not going to save you, my friend. And now it's Lemon and Lion. They're just gonna try and clean up the fight here. Nowhere for the Adagio to run. Esquire doing his best to dance out of this one, but Mr. K-Cool, he's hungry for blood. They're diving deep under the vein turrets, but they will get the kill nonetheless. Now they can just take the journey away. Look for another bit of an advantage. Wow, Lemon and Lime, they do not let you get away.
So one of the reasons that I always am a fan of Glaive into a Kestrel is because he can close the gap so incredibly fast, and once she takes damage, it's pretty hard to get your stealth off if you're taking continuous damage from the rest of the team closing in on her. And he did such a good job there. They couldn't actually get the Atlas Pauldron off before he started to burst the targets down, and that's exactly what he has to do. I think I saw maybe he got higher, but he had at least 17 breaking point stacks about halfway through that fight.
Yeah, insane stuff. Means that they can take the gold miner away, get themselves another decent gold payout. And actually, Apfel's purchased a Slumbering Husk here, Humanist, which means that the one-shots, the glimmer shots, they're just not going to be as effective from Azazel.
That's really cool. We don't see this item picked up too much, but it really actually makes sense. I think that's a really good point out. I noticed it in the fight and completely spaced out, but I'm really glad that you mentioned that.
This makes things a little bit difficult now, because with Mr. K-Cool getting to a power point where he's just destroying you, and the ability to burst down this scarf not existing anymore, your attentions are on Ghost here, the Lyra, and you can see Azazel's laying down the hurt to try and get rid of this constant form of healing. Maybe that is a option for Memento Mori, but really they just have to try and slow down the pace and find a pick somewhere. But maybe that just plays into the hands of Lemon Lion. As you said, this scarf scales well.
It does scale well. They're looking for the engage.
There's going to be Mr. K-Cool coming in. It doesn't look like they want the fight though. First going to go down. Does lock up Ghost. Trying to lay down the damage here, but look at Esquire falling low, and Mr. K-Cool looking for the killing blow. Azazel in a battle between Apfel, and that is going to be him falling down, and now Esquire has to run and dance away. Going to use this Crystal Sentry to try and provide a bit of cover. Apfel doesn't even care for it. Looking for the Spitfire, it lands, but it's not enough damage. And so now for Lemon and Lion, they've noticed that it is past the 15-minute mark, that Big Beast, she is, the Kraken is on the map, and they're going to take it.
See, but this is while Lemon Lion's an incredibly good team, the fact that they didn't clear the scout trap is something that a very good team will punish them for eventually as they make it further on into this series.
Yep, they are going to get it. He still doesn't quite come through, and actually it looks like they might just take down Kez here as well. Looking for Esquire. This could be a massive error from Memento Mori. The overextension to try and steal it away. Let's see what this Kestrel can do. If they step into that brush, they're going to get bursted down by the active camo. They do have a clear head. They do not go for it. Going to take this Crystal Sentry away. That's the first life taken, 2 remaining. And now 10-2 with a 4,000 gold lead. Kraken barraging away at this turret. This could just be the end for Memento Mori.
If Lemon and Lime play this correctly, they could probably end the game off of it. We'll see. Memento Mori need to put up a really good fight here. They really need to find a way to get Kestrel forward sneakily. That, like, everything hinges on Kestrel being able to get up within the range to burst one of these heroes down.
One shot does land onto Apfel, but the Slumbering Husk means that the damage isn't quite there. This choke turret will fall the anchor of the base. Now they're in looking for this Vein Crystal. Everyone taking so much damage. Gloop burning away. Mr. K-Cool wanting the engage, but not going to overextend. They don't need to. Everyone's so low, they can let the Kraken do the job. Mr. K-Cool gonna go in nonetheless. They take down the Adagio, but he loses his life. Azazel not going to get away, and Esquire all by himself going to jump onto the fountain to try and heal up. But this Kraken, it's doing its work. The Crystal Sentry, he's going to come in. He's going to do some damage. This could actually be a bit of damage onto the line. The Kraken's going to fall. It's not game over just yet, unless Apfel has something to say about it. Crystal Sentry going to help with the Kraken. This guy is the true MVP. And now Apfel is going to go low. Can the Sentry get the kill? No, he's ignoring them. So Esquire, it's all on you guys to try and finish this one off. Oh, the Lyra does escape, but Apfel will not have the same pleasure. And so now it is the shutdown. Base will be protected. Ghost does get away, and the Crystal Sentry just going to set up base. He's done his work.
Crystal Sentry was like, I've had enough of this fight. That's pretty funny. I'd like to see some tune-ups on how he decides to participate in fights in the future updates. But yeah, he definitely had an impact early when Kraken was still alive, chunking through those Vein Crystal turrets. Memento Mori right now, their aggressive positioning, as you see, this is perfect.
Yeah, they need to catch out Ghost here, try and find a pick just to slow down the pace, and that one shot onto Ghost is going to be fairly nice, but Ghost can heal it all up, so it's one of those things that you need to just continue the barrage of poke if you're going to get something. They are looking for this turret here, Humanist, and it looks like they might be able to get it as well. Glimmershot's definitely eating away at it as they're starting to hit onto the rest of Lemon Line, and they need to keep up this aggression. They cannot let the momentum slip, or else Lemon Line just going to march in and take the vein.
I just feel like they missed a huge opportunity when Lyra face-checked that brush. She should have died, and that's almost a game-losing opportunity.
Not long now for Memento Mori. It's kind of like the last hurrah, I guess.
Yeah, which is like when a Lyra face checks a brush and you're down in the game, you commit and you smash that Lyra, take her out of the game. Like that was their opportunity. It's hard. I'm not gonna harp on it over and over, but that's what we want to see teams, pulling the trigger on.
Absolutely. Well, they do still have a chance here. It's not all donezo. Esquire looking for Apfel as he dives forward. That one shot is not going to hit anyone. A little bit mispositioned. The Kraken is back onto the map. And this position from Memento Mori, they're looking to try and catch Lemon Line out. They have got the position here. Now they're looking for the fight. Apfel all by himself. First going to go down, lock, and do huge damage onto everyone. Apfel falls. This is great stuff from Memento Mori, as Ghost going to be the next target. That's going to be Mr. K-Core falling, and Ghost and Ace. Kraken going to be taken now from Memento Mori, and all of a sudden everything is flipped on its head.
That's 10 out of 10 rotation right there. They had the element of surprise, and that's like half of what they needed in these battles. We talked about it early on in the game. If Glaive's able to get on top of Kestrel before she can do something, they're probably going to win the fight. Memento Mori got on top of Scarf before they could do anything to peel. Basically the whole team, and yeah, huge credit to them. Where I criticized them not taking control of that fight where Lyra face checked the brush, this was 100% on them making it happen.
And that's a massive misstep, really, from Lemon Line. The win was in their grasp for this game one of the series, and they may have got a little bit cocky with their positioning. Now they have to deal with this Kraken that's going to be coming down the lane, and things aren't as simple as they used to be.
Yeah, it's not as simple as it once was. Okay, cool. It's gonna eat that one shot. Tasty.
Now able to heal them up before Azazel is in position to lay down some major hurt with Glimmer shots, but they need to engage a fight here, really. Lemon and Lime try and take down, and of course they do have a great engage. If they can get onto the back line, get onto Azazel, that's what they want. Currently, Memento Mori, they are going for the punch into the gut. Line, they are not able to respond. Once more, one shot does connect, but it's almost like Apfel is not really a target anymore with that slumbering husk. It just doesn't do work. But they're looking for Azazel here, and he's going to take so much damage. Can he get away is the real question. That fountain is healing him up as Esquire turns the fight on to Apfel. Apfel just about gets away. Now Mr. K-Cool has to back away. Only 4 breaking point stacks, and that one shot will take down Apfel. No slumbering husk this time. Can they get more is the question. Turret goes down, Ghost very low, Esquire on the wrong side of it. Now Kez also going to join as well. A little bit odd positioning, but Memento Mori are looking for the win here. They will not say no for an answer. Mr. Keiko is trying to dish out some no, and Azazel may have just heard it. This time he falls down to Ghost. That is Mr. Keiko Foing nonetheless. That Kraken almost dead, but it's going
This is
to be
GG.
alive long enough. This is GG, you're right. Game 1 of this winner bracket is going to go to Memento Mori. And what a throw that was from Lemon and Lime.
Wow. Okay. That is beautiful. This is a beautiful comeback right here. You know, you only have a chance to make a comeback when you're behind in a game. It's a little bit silly to say it that way, but it's not like they were planning it. But these guys held on when their back was against the wall. It looked like they might lose the game. Esquire just held on as a Black Feather. Just beautiful fight, beautiful defense. Crystal Sentry got in on that defense a little bit.
That was a mistake. Lemon and Lime should have never killed that Crystal Sentry because it
No.
respawned
Exactly.
just at the wrong time. No, that's obviously silly analysis, but wow, that's crazy stuff. Memento Mori, they're repositioning to just execute off the smallest sliver of chance. What a beautiful, beautiful first game.
Beautiful indeed.
Wow. What a first game coming out from those guys. I was sure that Lemon and Lime had that in the bag. It's like, so sure, I preemptively updated the scoreline thinking that they had won. Not on stream, it didn't go out on stream, but I preemptively had set it up thinking that they had won, saying, oh, this is going to be easy, I could do this later, it's fine. No, the massive turnaround from Memento Mori.
I think it was on stream.
It is on stream, yeah.
I know,
it says 1-0.
Oh, no, that's been changed. That's been changed, don't worry.
No worries.
That was a different one. There was one for the in-game one where I was like, oh, yeah, I'll set it up for next game. But no, they turned it around. It was such a very strong turnaround coming up from Memento Mori. I love the way the Kestrel was zoning when the Kraken was pushing. It meant the Kraken took very little damage. I mean, they went round the side of that between the tier 1 and the tier 2 and tier 3 towers, and they were zoning with those glimmer shots, stopping Lemon and Lime from getting to dealing damage to the Kraken. That allowed Kraken to push all the way through without being harmed. Really well played by those guys. Can't believe the turnaround they pulled at that point, and it was all down to that Black Feather, really. I mean, I know Kestrel had a great sort of couple of one-shot, one-kills, had a really good early game as well, but I mean, Black Feather in the late game, especially with the Poison Shiv pickup, Humanist. Poison Shiv meaning that, that sort of efficiency of the Lyra heal is definitely sort of plummeting. He picks up that Poison Shiv on top of his build and seems to come into great effect.
Yeah, it looked like it was really working. Obviously negating some of the healing that was coming out of that Lyra. Also stacking the healing for himself. And Blackfeather, like through these fights, like it wasn't like Apfel was missing Spitfires or missing everything as far as skill shots. Like Blackfeather took a lot of damage, but he just regened it right back up as he locked onto a target. I
think personally, I think that Poison Shiv with the update changes, I think it's got 10 extra weapon power now. I think it's definitely going to be seeing a little bit more play. Some people often picked it up instead of Breaking Point when they were going up against other sort of healing based heroes, but I gotta say, I think it's going to start seeing a little bit more play a little bit more frequently now that extra 10 weapon power is in the bag. Definitely looking forward to seeing how much that influences the meta. Now, before we head into the next draft, as I think we are just waiting for one of the players to get ready, I will just tell you about the giveaway that we have going on. So the giveaway we have going on is 9,000 ice and 2 Elgato HD60S capture cards, of which mine didn't freeze. I thought it had frozen, but unfortunately that was just me being an idiot, and I did something really wrong with my Mac. Which, to be honest, when a scoundrel says I'm being an idiot, that's not uncommon. That happens all the time. And Dalsey actually bailed me out. So I'll tell you a little story while we're waiting for this draft phase, which I think we are ready to go to. I was panicking, trying to get the Mac to show up on my screen, thinking it had frozen. What I'd actually done is somehow, unbeknownst to me, created 2 displays on my Mac, one of which didn't have the Vainglory client on and one of which did. And Dalsey comes into the rescue and says, Scoundrel, why don't you just unmirror your displays? And Dalsey actually saved the day. So
that film degree came in handy.
It did. Dalsey actually. Do you know what, guys? If you want to thank somebody for saving the stream, thank Tomic and thank Dalsey. Tomic for not shouting at me, even though I think he wanted to, and Dalsey for somehow miraculously turning things around. I mean, Dalsey, you're a god among men. Everyone spam thanks Dalsey PogChat into a chat because he saved the stream single-handedly and bailed me out. And we're into the next draft phase here between Lemon and Lime and Memento Mori. Just going to switch them over as they have switched sides now. And guys, I think there's a bit of work for Lemon and Lime to do. They've got the Adagio this time round, and it's actually going to be Memento Mori that takes the Lyra.
Right, so this is the thing, right, as we jump into the second draft between these two teams. Lemon and Lime played a good game throughout the first 16 minutes of the game, they were ahead. They took control of the game entirely. One major misstep from Lemon and Lime threw the game into Memento Mori's favor. And so it's a really hard loss, Humanist, when you come into this game, is that you actually were winning the game for the majority of it. So you need to remember that what you were doing was right up until one major misstep.
They did a lot of things right, but I expect more out of these players, and so I'm going to be a little more critical on them. And I think that Memento Mori missed about 2 opportunities to do exactly what they did to Lemon and Lime at the very end of that game, which was beat them in an ace. They had an opportunity around Kraken when they had vision. They could have taken a better fight, and that's Lemon and Lime's fault for not clearing that out. And also when Lyra face checked the brush into 3, she should have died, and they could have steamrolled that off of a turret into another objective. But I mean, it's credit to Memento for capitalizing on that one situation, but Lemon and Lime have to clean up their act.
Here we go. Composition is locked in. It's going to be the Jewel and the Koshka, really kind of all in, you would have to say, coming out from Memento Mori. And Lemon and Lime, they lock in the Rona and the Samuel. So, gentlemen, this is where I leave you. This is where you take over. This is where you relieve the public of listening to my voice. And we're going to go into this second game of this best of 3 between these 2 teams.
Very odd compositions. Apfel's playing Rona, so is that a lane Rona that we're going to see here, Humanist?
Yeah, why not? I mean, you got an Adagio. Odds are he'll be hanging out there, so he'll be able to back him up. We'll see a book of eulogies come out. Apfel gets his last hits. Should be pretty easy peasy.
It's very interesting stuff. Memento Mori, of course, Latin for remember, one day you will also die. Or one day you will die, and it's kind of like the story of that game between Lemon and Lime and Memento Mori in day one. They were very confident that they could come back, and they did. Now Lemon and Lime, well, they have to remember they cannot make mistakes like that, and we'll have to see. This is game 2 of our winners bracket between Lemon and Lime and Memento Mori. Memento Mori currently 1-0 up in this series, and looks like we're going to have a bit of a skirmish as everyone is posturing around this middle of the map, trying to get control of the Elder Treant. They both have compositions that can take it fairly easily at level 1, so both looking to try and lay down the damage. Just really the misstep that could cause trouble. It's going to be that camp secured by Memento Mori there, so they're not going to lose out on too much CS. Now everyone's just going to back away.
It's kind of just a little poke war. They're also baiting each other, fighting around cooldowns here.
Very awkward fight because no one has like a super all-in cooldown really, but Mr. Keiko does have those Malice and Verdicts, and actually that sustained damage might be enough to find that first blood, and it will be for Mr. Keiko. 2 games in a row, and he gets the first blood for his team. Now it is going to be Lemon and Lime trying to exit without losing too much. In fact, they're gaining. They steal away that Treant. They're looking for this Elder Treant. It's a good start for Lemon and Lime.
Yeah, a really good start. This is very powerful. To be able to take the mid away from their opponent, also get the Elder Treant is a huge boost to K-Cool. It's a little bit of gold and Ghost's pocket. He's level 2, and he's going to head up to lane.
So it is Adagio and Rona versus Jewel, Lyra. A little bit unconventional here as far as lanes are concerned. Both weapon power, I have to assume. For the Jewel, of course, is one I'm assuming. She can be played different ways. For Koshka, you would expect that that's why we're building towards weapon, and you can see there he is. Azrael is going to come through, look for a bit of damage here. Does do a decent amount, but now they're looking to try and turn the fight onto Mr. K-Cool. Do they have the help is the real question. Yes, they do. No, they don't. Never mind. That's going to be Apple getting a double kill. Oh my goodness, wow. That was very interesting. That's all I can say.
There's always this moment if, like, okay, if you don't, A, you don't play against Samuel for a while, or B, you're just caught off guard because it's early part of the game. There's always this moment when Drifting Dart comes out. Ghost taking a lot of damage here.
Yeah, he might actually fall. It looks like he's just going to get away. Mr. K-Cool's
should get out of here. But when that Drifting Dart comes down and K-Cool throws out the Malice and Verdict empowered, you just realize once again, like, oh shit, we can't trade with that.
With Rona being able to jump into a fight does cause a little bit of trouble. Elder Treant is going to be secured. Mr. Keiko going to take that one away. Ghost on this Adagio needs a bit of healing. Wonder if they'll give him this Treant here so that he can heal on up. Has the Iron God contract, so actually that's not necessary. Now for Apfel. The risk of Rona, I guess, is that she is melee in lane, very susceptible to be ganked, and with a Koshka on your team, that makes things a little bit easier.
Yeah, and also Jewel was able to get back and buy, so she has a bit of an item advantage.
Wow, Ghost takes a huge chunk of damage, but here comes Mr. Keiko, and here comes the Malice and Verdicts. They're just going to lay down the hurt. Oh, Kez gets completely destroyed, and Esquire has to try and get away. Going to quite find the kill there. This is very surprising stuff coming out of Lemon and Lime. Despite the fact that they lost the previous game, they've come into this one head and shoulders above Memento.
Yeah, it's working out really good for them. Keiko, the fact that they had that early start, which is, you know, part into how they played it, it's going to snowball this Samuel, though, and so it's going to get harder and harder for them to deal with now. Koshka has incredible move speed, and she should be able to jump onto the Samuel, but Keiko is an experienced player. Hopefully we'll be fighting from range, and she'll never be able to close that gap.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see Memento Mori, they're continuously looking to try and find kills, but Lemon and Lime just not going to give it to them. Continuously backing away, creating distance between this melee composition. And now Serpent's Mask has been acquired for Atful, so this Rona, already scary at 301, is going to become a little bit more scary as Ghost does have to fall back, so maybe you won't quite see the power of that Serpent's Mask just yet.
Yeah, we could soon, though, as Fountain is picked up for Adagio. Ghost is going to be moving back out onto the map. Keiko has a Frostburn as well, so a little bit of slow definitely helps out the Rona.
Yeah, absolutely. And so now with Mr. Keiko coming into lane, and as well as Ghost, this is where you kind of expect to see Atful just turn on the pain train that Ronan can be. Has that healing from Adagio to come through. They're just waiting for Memento Mori to overstep here. As far as this game is concerned, Memento Mori have made a lot of oversteps, so it's bound to happen some point.
Will. I think also probably waiting for Appel to hit level 6 so he can have that red mist to go ahead and spin, lifesteal off of everybody. And he just wants to stay as far back towards his turret as he can, so he's letting this lane constantly push out, and he'll just farm next to turret.
It does mean that he does give up a couple CS every now and again, but he's doing alright. It's only a 2 CS difference, nothing really to harp on about. Both teams going to crash into the jungle shop. Mori going to have to fall back, does pick up the Zora Blade onto this jewel, great purchase. And now Azazel is split from the team, so Lemon and Lime can just charge straight down into lane, look for a bit of damage onto Kez. Ghost just going to continuously harass this Adagio, lay down the damage over time. Just waiting for Azazel really to come through, has that Yummy Catnip Frenzy available. Mori will pull the trigger, it will be too late as they're taking so much damage under this turret.
There is a reflex block on Mr. Keiko and Apfel, so we'll see if they can get those off.
It's a hard one to hit. Squire, so low already. Mr. Keiko does have Oblivion available, but is going to fall back. He's decided he's done his work. Now Lemon and Lime just have to respect Azazel's presence in lane once more. Actually, Apfel wants to go deep. We'll just jump back. It's a poke war. Melee girls.
It is. They both have some poke and some movement abilities in that Rocket Leap and in that Out of the Fray.
Cool. Going very low. There's the big red button, as it's called, when it's a weapon power jewel. And oh wow, they're just going to turn straight on. Yummy Catnip Frenzy blocked away. So Apfel will just continue to spin to win. 5-0.
2 versus 3.
Yeah.
I mean, a full 2 versus 3. They saw that and read that situation. That's exactly what we expect out of these guys.
Great stuff. Mr. Keiko comes into lane, puts down the pressure, but they're just going to turn for this gold miner here and secure that gold payout for the team. Maybe a chance for Azazel to steal it away, but realistically, not even going to be in position to do so. And they get it with the heal. Gonna get moved away. Now Azazel dives in. That's a mistake. Maybe not. The Lyra does counter Rona just a little bit.
Yeah, nice little bright bulwark there. Jewel trying to get some damage down up in lane, but it looks like Lemon Lime will be pretty quick back up. Apfel really only misses maybe 1-2 CS there.
Yeah, no, it's inconsequential really for Lemon and Lime, especially as they just secured 300 gold each.
Alright, well we see the item progression for Samuel. Looks like he'll be going into Broken Myth, and that's a huge power spike for him. We'll see his damage just spike, and if Memento Mori get caught out, not noticing that he's picked up that item, really turn things around.
Yeah, well, it's going to be Lemon Lime engaging this fight, and Zazzle is in trouble. Fountain goes out to try and keep Memento Mori healthy, but those health bars are looking just not that. Currently Lemon Lime in great position. Got the minion wave crashing on in. They can try and push to get a bit of damage onto this turret, possibly even secure it if they get a kill here. Mr. Cake is going to continuously be laying down the damage with his malice and verdicts here, and Memento Mori have to fall back. Esquire going to go below, but that is just a mistake. Sitting under the turret, Apfel will eat you up, as will Mr. Keiko, the splash damage, and now 2 down, 7-0. This turret is not long for this world.
Yeah, Memento Mori made a huge positioning error. Azazo, are you gonna be able to get out of here? Yes, using that moving speed of the Koshka. But they grouped up. I mean, they're both essentially sitting within splash range of that Malice and Verdict, and it hit on them maybe 4 times. I thought a Malice landed, Verdict landed, and then Malice, Verdict both landed again, and it splashed on them every single time. They can't let that happen.
Big mistakes, and I don't know. This is not the same game that we saw previously. Of course, Lemon and Lime were ahead of game 1, and it was a positional error that cost them the game against Memento Mori. But even so, in that previous game, Memento Mori didn't just give up, and they weren't just giving kills up without at least securing one in return. Currently a clean slate here for Lemon and Lime, and it's almost like they've turned the heat up to an entirely new level. Gas mark 7 instead of 5, 6. You know, they're truly cooking right now.
Yeah, I would expect it too. I think it's, you know, it's fair to say that some of these teams, they come in, they don't always give their opponents the full respect that they deserve. And Lemon and Lime may be getting punished for that in game 1. But as I stated, and I do believe that if this team plays well, if they're practiced up, they're a team that could go to the Vainglory 8. So they definitely have the capability to turn it up when they need to.
Yeah, it certainly do. And it's not something you can allow to happen when you've got the series lead here. Memento Mori, they're going to go very low, as Apfel going to take that journey and take down Kez. Now looking for a Zazzle. Can they get onto this kitty cat? It's very unlikely. Oblivion goes out, blocked away, and actually a Zazzle forced to walk in the wrong direction. So just Esquire left alive. This turret will not have the same fate. Apfel going to take it on down. 1, 2, 3. 9-0 here. 6,000 gold lead. Doesn't look like Lemon Lime are going to halt at any time soon.
Yeah, really nice just map dominance out of Lemon and Lime. Also, one thing I want to point out, you know, there's a couple different ways to look at infusions. Like, sometimes you buy an infusion when you're behind and you can't afford an item. You just need something to keep you in fighting shape. Sometimes you buy it because it's just fitting your timing. These guys are buying it to snowball with, and I like that a lot.
Yeah, great stuff from Lemon and Lime, recognizing their position in this game, and Esquire is going to go very low. Once more blocked. Zazzle hasn't been able to land a single ultimate yet. And with the Lyra falling, it's pretty much curtains, I think, for this this base turret. Maybe not, actually. The minion wave is too far away, so Lemon Lime will probably just back away, look to secure another gold mine.
Like, I don't know, this game is rapidly becoming almost unthrowable, even for Lemon and Lime, when these guys are very talented, as showcased in game 1. But yeah, they're just putting everything together. Like, you look at this Rona, she has so much damage. She has her tier 3 boots up now. She can decide to put a little bit more gold into her defense. That's going to make it that much harder to kill her. There you go, the Aegis is picked up right on cue. I mean, we're 12 minutes in, and she has the build, essentially, that you'd want to see at like 15.5 minutes.
Definitely ahead of the curve here, so as you said, almost unthrowable, but I sensed a hint of hesitance in your voice.
I didn't want to say it couldn't happen. I cursed them.
We did see, unfortunately, I guess, in the previous game, Lemon Lime did throw a fairly large lead, so not out yet. They need to make sure that they take this, but it would be a great turnaround for Lemon Lime, you know. A fairly dominant game 1 thrown away, an even more dominant game 2. This time looking like it will just be completed. Esquire gets destroyed. It's a double kill for Apfel. And then Zazzle has to fall on back. Does jump forward, tries to lay down some damage, but this anchor turret going to fall down here will Lemon Lime push their advantage anymore, or just fall back? It's going to be the safe play, the cautious play, and I appreciate that from Lemon Lime. No need to push any further.
Yeah, look at these guys. I love what's happening. Mr. Keiko is making the Samuel feel like the initial release Samuel, which was just like so broken. Right now his impact is incredible. I think part of it has to do with the fact they're going up against 2 melee heroes, so he's able to abuse that range. But almost every fight there's positioning errors out of Memento Mori, and his splash damage is coming through constantly.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this time, Yummy Catnip Frenzy does land. Apple does get locked up, but it almost doesn't matter as the Zazzle is just going to take so much damage from these Mallets and Verdicts. Esquire, the target here, will fall down, and Kez will follow suit very shortly, I assume. There it is, double kill for Mr. Keiko. Just a Zazzle to take down, but this kitty cat is so fast, hard to lock in place. Lemon Lime going to look to try and put as much damage down, but without a minion wave does make taking these Vayne turrets hard, and they have to be very respectful. In fact, Ghost almost loses his life, has to use the Crucible to stay alive, and now Azazel looking to try and punish the target. Not quite gonna get it! Wow! How much HP is Ghost on? Almost none. Okay, Esquire finds the kill. Now, Azazel, Apple, in fact, probably not going to be able to get out of this one alive, as Mr. Keiko has pieced off to do some jungling.
Watch the space creation out of Apple.
It's good stuff. You know, he's falling back to the edge so that he doesn't get a turret aggro, but eventually he will fall. And that is it. A mistake from Lemon Lime. They give up their first 2 kills at 15 minutes in. Not going to be too consequential, not going to be a problem just yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beginning of a throw, though, if you want to, look at it that way. As far as their infusions, they had bought infusions. This was their second round, and that one will essentially be wasted for the most part. And Kraken essentially starting to get captured up over here.
Wonder if Lemon and Lime will sense that this is happening. There are no scout traps available to scout it out, but now they can see that it is not in its spot, and this is falling so quickly. Oh my goodness, almost unthrowable, but is it really? Here comes the attempt at a steal. There's going to be kills going down, and it is going to be Apple taking that Kraken away. Good stuff coming out of Lemon Line. They say thank you very much for doing the work for us. We're going to take your lives, take your face as well. Azazel, not long for this world, will fall. There it is, double kill and an ace, and this Kraken going to march on into the base. GG, realistically, for Lemon and Lime.
Yep. Very clean game out of Lemon and Lime. At the end, I think, once again, we saw them having some fun as they dove behind these turrets. That's the kind of players that these guys are. They're always playing to have fun. And I think that's really what makes them fan favorites.
Yeah, it's that fun play style. The 1v2 when you have 50% health behind the Vayne Crystal, meet me there at 6 PM, or else I'll 1v2 you easily. It is going to be another ace looking like it. Lemon Lime just going to look to pad their stats as if they need to. 21-2, looking for that 22-2. Ooh, a bit of a dive under the fountain. Means that they won't be able to get this duel. So it will be the game equalized, the series equalized here as Lemon and Lime take it. Very clean game, Scoundrel. What do you make of that?
That was a very, very clean game from Lemon and Lime there, I've got to say. I didn't really feel that they should have lost the first game, if I'm completely honest. I definitely feel like they had a huge advantage in that game that they did end up throwing. But, this is kind of what we expected. The team, they are supposed to be the dominant of these two. They are supposed to be the team that takes this away. And I've got to say, it's good seeing these guys who are technically, you would say, VG8 level players. It's good seeing these guys, manage to go toe-to-toe with each other and actually see Lemon and Lime take that game quite cleanly as well. Because it gives us confidence for their performance going later into the split. Because like Humanist said, when these guys are on their day, they are VG8 level players. And this is a team that could definitely make those challenge battles and make it into our professional levels of Vainglory.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what we just saw there was exactly that. For these guys, like you say, I'm with you on the thought that game one realistically was Lemon and Lime's. However, if you do make mistakes like that in VG8, you are going to get punished.
Agreed.
So it's something that you need to keep in mind if you are going to make it through this Challenger series towards the Challenge battles later on, that you cannot make errors like that when you have such a lead. You have to play a little bit more seriously. And, whilst Humanist brought up the fact that, Lemon and Lime, they do like to have fun, and they show that in their game, and that might be great to watch for all the fans. That isn't necessarily the optimal way to play Vainglory. And if you are...
I don't think it's the optimal way to play any professional sport. Yeah, it's great to
Sure.
have fun, but realistically, you've got to aim for the win. However, this series isn't over yet, gentlemen. Memento Mori, they took that first game, and albeit it was through some mistakes from Lemon and Lime, they still actually won. So, Lemon and Lime have to be on their absolute A game here to make sure that they are going to secure themselves a win in this best of 3, because this is a best of 3. Lemon and Lime have only picked up one game thus far, and I believe we're ready to get into draft for the next game. We're going to rattle on through as quickly as we can. They need to win this to go through. In Memento Mori, they could potentially cause another upset here and knock Lemon and Lime into the losers bracket. Now, either team, because we are still in the winners bracket, we will still have an opportunity to see them play the further that we go along. Simply because, this is a double elimination bracket. But for the most part, you want to stay in the winners bracket. It gives you the most chance to keep on top. And we are into the draft phase. Dalsy and Humanist. What do we think we see in terms of bans here? We're going to be the Black Feather for Lemon and Lime. They were not happy to see that in the first game, and that's going to stay as a ban.
Not a bad ban. I do like the awareness of who you're playing against. I think it's one thing that's overlooked by a lot of teams that are drafting, especially in the Challenger series. So these guys going to go ahead and take that off the board, and the smart ban.
It's going to be the Adagio lock-in for Lemon and Lime. Again, they really value that hero, and they're going to take that away. It's going to be the Kestrel, though. There's something that they think Memento Mori found success with in their first game of the series. They are going to take that up very, very quickly here, and they're going to follow up with the Lyra here. So it's either Adagio or Lyra, where they've seen 100% play in this series so far. Swapped over, 2 games for Adagio and Lemon and Lime, and it's going to be 2 games for Lyra on Memento Mori. How would you end up responding here, do you think, Humanist, in this second part?
Honestly, if it was any other team that I had experience with, you can talk about their draft, but Lemon and Lime, you literally never know what they're going to do.
It's just a little bit random. I think the Koshka seems to work okay here. Definitely is something that can apply pressure to the Kestrel. Have to be careful, though, as the game gets later on. You get baited into those stealth traps, camo traps very easily. And the Vox is going to be the follow-up, you would imagine, for Apfel here. Weapon Power Vox has seen a lot of play over the last few weeks, and we saw that 100% crit Vox coming out yesterday with the Breaking Point double Tyrant's Monaco and the Lucky Strike, I believe it was, and then they ended up getting 100% crit, and that was dealing devastating damage. Mori are going to respond, and they're going to lock in the Baron here, so Dalsy and Humanist. These are the compositions. Gentlemen, take it away as we head into this final game of the series.
This is very interesting, as we're seeing the same support Captain Heroes throughout the series here, Humanist. And then you have this really great late game carry in the form of Vox and Baron, and this kind of early game presence in jungle in the form of Koshka and Kestrel. And so both these teams are fairly equal in their power throughout the game.
They are. I have specific experience with the Baron Vox matchup right there. And it comes from the Ringo, the Vox were meta lane carries for recent history. And then people will start to, as those get banned out, people start to go to other picks and figure out different things. One of the things I found out, if Ringo's not in the mix, if it's a weapon Vox in lane, Baron will outcarry him. If you have if you're evenly farming, you're having even level progression, eventually Baron has this massive range advantage and will just dumpster the Vox.
So a lot of pressure, I guess, on Lemon and Lime to find advantages in the early game with this Koshka. Guys, this is game 3 of our winner bracket series. Both teams tied 1-1. And we'll get this one underway. Only one team can remain in the winner's bracket. We'll have to see which one it is, as Mr. K-Cool goes to lane all by himself. Ghost not there to provide any support and takes a huge chunk of damage.
Yep, this is going to be really nice. I think Lyra boosting up the Baron is going to be great for him. He's a very slow-moving hero, but as you get to the late game, he will feel incredibly mobile. But that early lack of mobility will be shored up by the Sigil and the healing and the speed boost coming out of that.
It's very interesting to see that Lemon Lime have mixed up their roles a little bit, putting Mr. Keiko in lane and Apple in the jungle. It shows that they feel like they're very confident in their ability to be divergent, have those differing roles, but it can also be a little bit of a worry. Perhaps if one of the players isn't quite warmed up for the role that they're playing, and we'll have to keep an eye on Mr. Keiko, I think, especially in the lane.
Keep an eye on Apple.
Wow, he has dived deep, stolen away some stuff. He's just gonna run away because he has that blood rush.
My god, he's so fast.
Easy peasy.
Easy
Actually,
peasy.
Esquire taking.
Easy scout trap! Oh my.
Oh wow, he's going straight onto Kez. He's gonna find the kill as well. It's first blood for Apfel. What a monster.
I'm starry-eyed. That's why I love this guy. Apple, what a monster. That just happened.
Easy stuff for Lemon and Lime, but that's exactly what they need here, Humanists, is they need to get this Koshka rolling. They need to get those early kills wherever possible. And, you know, I saw it personally in the Blitz tournament. Whenever they ran Koshka, they just dumpstered people as they were able to get really early advantages with the Koshka and carry it through. Of course, Blitz a little bit different because it is only 5 minutes. You don't have that, you know, long form of the game heading into late game. We'll have to see if they can continue the pressure.
I imagine that Apfel will continue the pressure. The question for me is, how will Memento Mori respond to said pressure? And if they do a little bit of the loose movements that we've seen in the last game, as far as, you know, not always flaring out a bush as they move across the map, Apfel definitely is going to punish that. I'm seeing it like kind of, for Memento Mori, they have power spikes that are early. That's going to be more around the Kestrel, but they need to get past. If they can get 15 minutes into this game with a decently farmed Baron, I think that's their key to victory.
Yeah, absolutely, and I kind of feel like the same thing is for Lemon Lime. They need to put as much pressure on to Esquire as possible to try and prevent that power being built up on the Baron. Really be reliant on Apfel's ganks here, as currently Azazel has moved up to the lane just to try and provide a bit of assistance, a bit of harass as well, put the pressure straight back on Lemon Lime, and that's going to force Apfel's hand, whether he goes for the gank or whether he just tries to steal away the back camp on more, we'll have to see.
Yeah, Apfel's going to get in where he fits in. It takes the Elder Tree and Rand out. This is great for him. Level 5 here at less than 4 minutes. He's going to jump in.
And they're going for the kills here, but the Glimmer Shot's doing so much work through the back line for Memento Mori. And so we'll have to see. I think a bit of a different jungle path. You can't just rush straight at their faces, I feel. I feel it's going to have to be a little bit more sneaky.
Yeah, he should be. And it was kind of an awkward timing for him. I think he was waiting for a couple things. Like, he was on this weird part of his jungle rotation. He's not level 6. He doesn't have his aftershock completed, so he wasn't quite ready, but he didn't really want to commit all the way to the back side of his jungle right now is where he currently is. But he hit his level 6 off of this, so I'd expect to see potentially a gank come out based off that. And
actually, the difference in XP between Apfel and Azazel is actually quite huge. He's currently almost about a half a level ahead of this Kestrel, which means he has his level 6. He can go for that ultimate in lane, try and provide a bit of pressure. Azazel just hasn't hit it yet. We'll hit it very soon though. It's about to come to fruition, but if Apfel keeps stealing away these camps, it makes the life of this Kestrel a little bit hard.
Yeah, definitely will make it hard. Kestrel's doing okay though. Level 6, able to take her back Treant. Apfel.
You say that. Is he able to take his back Treant, or is he just going to get punished is the question. The entire team from Memento Mori rotating down, but as is goes to provide a bit of pressure. Esquire on the wrong side of the fight. This Crystal Sentry, it saved Memento Mori once. Can it do it again? A kill traded back and forth. It is a 2-for-1 in favor of Lemon and Lime, but this is the pressure that we're going to continuously see from Apfel, just not allowing Azazel to realistically get into this game.
Yeah, that was really nice. It's also heartbreaking to see how Lyra moved through that fight, because if she had gotten down there, the Baron definitely wouldn't have died there. They probably would have gotten their laner out of that situation, but at the end of the day, that's Lemon Lime taking a turret and taking away pretty much most of the jungle.
Yeah, it's a full level experience spa ahead for Apfel. Double the CS of the Kestrel as well at this point. And Lemon Lime certainly showing that they understand their win condition here, Humanists. Get Koshka ahead early, keep Memento Mori out of the game.
And Memento Mori, like, the Kestrel doesn't have to, you know, it's not like you lose the game if she doesn't have an impact early, but if she can have an impact early, it makes it that much easier for your Baron later on. So I'd like to see this Kestrel try to make something happen.
Certainly, same here. One shot does go down the lane, will not connect with the faces of Lemon Lime.
Just the mind games right now.
Yeah, absolutely. As they're just trying to continue the pressure without actually being in a position to apply pressure.
A little bit of zoning here as Ghost tries to take control of the Scry Brush, or the Mustache Brush.
Mustache Brush. I like that name. I've been calling it the Banana Brush.
Banana Brush. Yeah.
It looks like banana to me.
I think I just got, someone said that one time, I thought it was silly, stuck with it.
Fair dues, absolutely, love it. Lemon Lime, they're going to look for this this gold miner here. It's going to go completely uncontested, so they're going to continue building up their gold lead, and wow, it's a huge one. 4,000 gold at 7 minutes for Lemon Lime here. But Memento Mori still have that wild card in the Baron. If they continue farming up, scaling up, they're going to hit a point eventually where Baron will hit like a truck. However, down on CS, down on XP, it's not looking too good.
So it's really funny for me, like, sometimes I'm sitting here watching Esquire and he's holding the lane. He goes ahead and farms out. Maybe he just wants to get back to buy an item here. We'll see what he picks up. And he doesn't really complete an item. I think he picked up the part of his breaking point. So he's gonna go into breaking point next. He's got a reflex now. Not too bad. But it's always kind of funny now. But K-Cool has the control of the lane now. K-Cool is sitting here. He's freezing the lane out, and it means Baron's not going to be able to farm it. But I wish Esquire would have held that lane a little bit longer, because he could have kept that wave on his half of the map.
Yeah, sure. But it is a huge minion wave built up now, so they can try and use the advantages. Oh, Axel caught in an active camo. Does do a huge chunk of damage, so Lemon going to clear out that wave to try and negate the ability for Memento Mori to really punish the huge chunk of damage that they did there. Interesting stuff, you know, a bit of a misstep from Apfel.
Yeah, pretty easy. Bright Bulwark is so good, too, against the Koshka. I mean, yeah, she has high movement speed, but it shuts down a lot of her mobility and the ability to gap close in that moment. Baron!
Jumping on in, but wow, that was a forced error. Esquire just didn't have the damage, and Apfel says, I'm here for the fun. Does get locked in an active camo, but look at the energy bar on Azazel. It is empty. So it does mean that they won't be able to return fire there. Ooh, at Memento Mori, they're getting antsy. They want kills desperately.
Well, okay, I don't know. If you're not a Baron player, maybe you won't understand. But it's really weird. Like, Baron's very feast or famine. But when he starts to hit his power spikes, he really comes online. Esquire, I think, just misread how strong he was in this moment. But eventually, you will see him able to actually dive in, find kills like that, and find his way out. That was just a little overzealous, a little too early, and it happens. Because the thing is, he's played so patiently in this game because Baron really can't do anything early. I think players get a little antsy sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I can totally understand that. Having played a bit of Baron myself in lane, it's one of those things you have to play very patiently. And, you know, allow the other team to kind of trash all over you until you hit a point where you're just going to turn things around. It is going to be a weapon infused there for Mr. K-Cool. A bit of an indication that Lemon Lime looking for a fight here. They feel like their Vox has hit a stage where they can put down the hurt, but a one-shot onto Mr. K-Cool, half his health, just like that. Does make things a little bit hard. Let's get the heal though. Ghost can pretty much sustain him back to full.
I think these next 2 minutes are going to be really important here. We're going to find out, is this infusion wasted, or are they going to be able to get something off of it? If Lemon and Lime lose a fight with this early infusion bot on them, it's a huge win for Memento Mori. It could easily just get snowballed the other way around.
Keep our eye on that. Gold mine does get secured. A payout for the team, but Memento Mori have positional advantage, just going to go straight for this turret. Able to secure their first of the game at 11 minutes. Now Lemon Lime looking to try and turn on. Their bright bulwark has been used. The Apfel has an opportunity, but it gets locked up. And that is going to be him turned on now. Esquire feels like he can go deep, but Apple turns it straight back on, and once more the same mistake. Apple gonna find the kill, diving forward onto this Kestrel, whilst Mr. K-Cool takes down Kez on the Lyra, and ace for Lemon and Lime. And once more we see a bit of aggression come out of Memento Mori, where they just weren't in position for it.
Yeah, not like this, not like this, not like this. They had, for all intents and purposes, won that fight. All they had to do was walk away without losing anybody, and they're at the advantage because, you know, Esquire, he's got a little bit more experience, a little bit more farm.
Oh wow, he's going straight on in, but he actually manages to find the kill and escape. Incredible stuff. I thought he was done there, and now they're going to just turn straight back on. Lemon and Lime, they are the ones in the wrong position, and this time they're going to get punished. 2 kills go in favor of Memento Mori. This full crit build. Oh, Apple, what are you doing? Going on to Kez? Not like this. Feels bad, man.
So much not like this. Okay, so Baron got away from that in that fight, so we can see like.
Oh wow. Actually gonna find the kill. No, he's done. Surely. Kez dies. He gets the kill, but he will end up. No way. A double kill for wow.
Oh.
That's his first death as well.
Craigasm. That was a 1 versus 3, super obvious. They knew it was happening, and Apfel just stood his ground and smoked 2 of them. That's impressive.
Very impressive stuff. Wow, so 5,000 gold at this 13-minute mark. You said that 15 minutes was the kind of point that Memento Mori would be looking for with this Baron. It's only 2 away.
They're getting close. That's a huge loss, though. Going down 1 versus 3 to the Koshka. What a big mistake right there. Fight from range. Baron needs to fight from range. If he can do that, they have a chance in this game. I believe in this team. I think they have the capability, but they're gonna have to tighten up their movement through these fights. I feel, and it feels like the way Esquire's moving on this Baron, like he has played a fair bit of Baron before, but he's just like mentally ahead of his power spikes right now.
Dangerous game to be playing, as it's going to be this gold miner once more taken for Lemon and Lime just before the Kraken spawns in a minute and 20 seconds. One shot does land onto Ghost, but really not the target, and actually they have to be careful. Kez is going to use that ultimate to escape. Esquire possibly a little bit pushed up here. Lemon and Lime, though, they have deja vu of the last time they fought around that choke point, and so they do fall back. Iron Cannon goes out, doesn't hit anyone. Bit of a forced move, really, from Memento Mori. And actually, Apple, he wants to go on to Azazel, and oh, Azazel gets deleted from the map. Now Apple diving forward, looking for Esquire. Can he get the damage down? Yes, he can. It's a double for Apple. Now looking for his triple onto Kez. This kitty cat hungry for some kills. Lemon and Lime possibly with an opportunity to take more than just a kill here. They have a minion wave crashing into the turret very shortly, but Apple wants the triple, and there it is. Ace comes through. They get the empowered minions. Now they can look to try and take the turret down. Azazel has spawned.
Well, Lemon and Lime, they saw the weakness. They went really aggressive and made it happen. Once again, Apfel kind of leading his team by the nose here. But, you know, he's the one that has the strong advantage.
Absolutely. Lemon and Lime are going to have to be forced back. That turret has literally 10 HP.
You see how K-Cool constantly can't get in range? Now, Weapon Vox is incredibly strong, but K-Cool, it feels like he doesn't have much of an impact this game because he just can't close the gap onto this Baron. Most of the time, it's Apfel doing it because he can go ahead and jump with that Bounty Fun or Yummy Catnip Frenzy, whatever, to get on top of the Baron. But this is the matchup, and this is why Baron is stronger than Vox in this weapon matchup.
Well, it is that 15-minute mark now. The Kraken is on the hold. And now, fold even, and now we'll have to see wherever...
Baron has a fresh infusion. He also has 60% crit chance now, so it's a bit of a power spike for him.
This is going to be what it all comes down to. This is the moment Memento Mori have been waiting for. Ghost all by himself going to get engaged on here. A bit of damage flies out, but Memento Mori are cautious as not to full engage onto just this captain of Lemon and Lime. currently just stealthing it on out. Azazel could try and look for a positional advantage, but they're going to send Kez back to purchase an Atlas Cauldron here and a Crystal Fuse, and oh no, the fight gets engaged and Azazel gets deleted. That is a double kill, a huge mistake. Memento Mori pushed up without their support. Wow, that is heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's a pretty tough way to go down at the end of a game, at the end of a long series, but happens to the best of us. And honestly, it's something that I talked to some teams about, capitalizing on. I think Lemon and Lime did exactly what so many teams don't do, is they have an advantage. Well, you can go over on Kraken, you can start that up, right? That's pretty obvious. But they just hide in one of these, lesser checked brushes and just smoke the team when they walk out. Then it's a guaranteed Kraken. Much easier game.
Well, it's not all over yet. Kraken has been secured, but Memento Mori are back onto the Halcyon Fold here. One more chance to defend. No anchor turret. The base is wide open for Lemon Lime to cruise on into. Currently trying to set up for a bit of a snipe, the active camo in that side bush, but now it is going to be the Kraken marching on to the base here. This is the final hour for Memento Mori, or else they fall into the loser's bracket here. Lemon and Lime to proceed forward. Damage going down. They're looking to try and take down this Kraken as quickly as possible. Lemon Lime going to march around the side. A bit of damage onto Apple here. Stunned up, locked down, taking huge chunks of damage, but the turret will fall nonetheless. One more to go before the vein is open, and Lemon and Lime are looking for that killing blow. There it is. They take down Apple though. Mr. K-Cool very low as well. He falls as well. Now just looking for Ghost. Ghost, not long for this world. If they turn their attention to the Kraken, maybe they just keep the game alive long enough. A couple more hits left on this Bane Crystal, but no, they're going to take the Kraken, I believe! They keep the base alive! And we're in it for a little bit more.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Remember last time this happened?
Yeah, exactly. Uh-oh. Well, okay. Memento Mori alive for another moment here. They played that the way they needed to, about as good as they actually could have. Baron fought from range, gets some stacks up on his breaking point, switches over to the carries. That's about the best he can do right here. 2 Tyrants, Monocle's completed, so he's in a decent place. They're just very far behind, and I think a little bit outpaced in this game.
Well, that's what we thought last time. Perhaps they can continue to surprise us here. Humanistas actually is going to be Apple straight off the backline, but he gets completely blown up. Oh my goodness, it is deja vu. Lemon and Lime, where are you? Ghost gonna get taken on down. Can you get away, Mr. K-Cool? The only man left alive for Lemon and Lime, and he's getting deleted before our eyes. Another ace. It's happened again. It's happening again. It's happening again.
Yeah, I'm almost speechless. Okay, Apfel's aggressive playstyle. He's very much like Von C in North America. He can carry a team on his back. You saw him 1v3 and kill 2 people. He also makes plays like this sometimes that are a little bit dangerous, and they can backfire on his team. Now, the fact that he went down didn't mean his whole team had to die as well, but crap. I mean, let's just give credit to Memento Mori. They saw that opportunity, they made it happen.
Well, unfortunately for them, this time there is no Kraken to take straight away. It has just respawned. So the win that Memento Mori just got there isn't going to be as devastating as Game 1, but it shows that Lemon and Lion are in a position where they can make mistakes that can throw games. And now a weapon infused for Baron. They're looking for the stealth. That's a great active camo, gonna lock up a lot of damage. They're looking for the kill here. Apple's charging for the base. This kitty cat wants to take the crane. Bane and everyone else is locked up in a fight. Azazel's able to recall. Esquire goes down. That's going to be Kez falling as well. A double kill for this Fox, and Apple all by himself may actually take it out. In fact, he will. And everyone's low. He can win this if he can land the right shots onto Mr. K. He can. It's a double kill for Azazel. This game will not die just yet. Azazel looking for the ace all by himself onto goes, needs to hit those glimmer shots, but it will be easy enough. Has the energy and has the skill. An ace for Memento Mori at 21 minutes. We're still going, Humanist.
I love it. I mean, I don't love the lemon lime getting well, whatever's happening to lemon and lime right now. I don't, you know, I'm a fan of these guys, so it's tough to watch. But I love to see a team come back like Memento Mori are right now. Insane. Azazel, amazing plays in the base.
Trying to just solo the Kraken here. I guess he will have a Squire.
That's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen. You're right.
Bold move, Cotton. He's gonna have to rethink that. But they have opponents on the base now. What I would like to see is what Lemon Lime did before, which is aggressive positioning in a forward bush. See, Apfel just face checked that bush. He should be dead right now, right? So if they had moved up into that brush, they could have taken advantage to continue to snowball. They're doing good though. They just have to take a clean fight.
Wow. All of a sudden, everything is even. This 22-minute game, whatever happened in the past, is a nil at this stage. Nothing matters anymore but the next fight. You're only as good as your last team fight, Humanist.
Oh.
Lemon and Lime
Quote him,
are a little bit scared. A little bit scared of Memento Mori. Remember what it means in Latin. Remember, you will die.
Remember.
Now they are for the kill. Esquire split from the team. This could be disastrous as Apfel dives straight onto Azazel. Esquire has fallen here, and this time for sure they cannot survive. Apfel looking for this Kestrel, and they will find it.
There you go.
That Scout Trap does come up huge, and finally it will be Lemon and Lime taking what they truly deserve in this series, the win over Memento Mori, but it was hard fought for, and some question marks definitely to be raised about their end game play style.
Unbelievable. Lemon and Lime coming back on the throwing, and then coming back on the throw again. Unbelievable. These guys are exciting to watch, and can't wait to see more out of them. Memento Mori, though, keep your heads up, and I wouldn't be surprised to see these guys battle through the losers bracket.
Wow, Excoundrel, that's our first series of tonight.
What the hell was that game? Like, I was spending the entire time just like watching it, spectating it, like, oh, this is over. It's not over. Oh, it's not over. I actually can't believe what I actually saw that game. Memento Mori somehow on the cusp of two last-minute base defenses. Two defenses where they were almost, you know, at one hit away from the Vein Crystal going down. And then they still managed to throw it, and then somehow Lemon Lime still managed to find a way back into the game. I mean, Apfel made these amazing plays, these 2 versus 3, you know, the 1 versus 3 double kills. He made these dumb plays, in inverted commas. I want to say that in probably a little bit less, a nicer word than dumb, but some of them were kind of dumb. Like, he face checks in by himself and no one can follow him up. Like, there was these crazy plays, but somehow Lemon and Lime come out on top. And that's Vainglory in a nutshell. That's like, for me, that is exactly the type of series that captured my love for Vainglory. That is exactly the kind of series that I looked and watched and went, so much action is going on, so many nail-biting moments, and it's only 22 minutes into a game. Compared to, you know, loads of other games that you could get that over a 45-minute stretch. That happens in 22 minutes. That is what captured my love for Vainglory. And Lemon and Lime and Memento Mori, it might just be a Challenger Series game, but that is a game that I will remember for the rest of my casting career. That was insane. That really was.
Yeah. It really was.
Now, when we calm down, I have to just talk to you about the next matchups, as we do have more games coming your way, believe it or not.
Can you believe it?
Can you believe it? That was just one series. We do actually have more games coming your way, and I'm going to show you which games we have got coming your way. We have got Waves versus THN Envy coming up next. Again, we saw Memento Mori and Lemon and Lime win there. That was a 2-for-1. For Lemon and Lime. What an insane game from those guys. Really, really was. And you see they actually take that series and advance through the winners bracket. But we have yet another game coming your way. They have waited for us 42 minutes past their due time for their game. They have waited, ready to bring us again another insane series. I believe one of these teams is actually Sasiska's team, if I'm not mistaken. And Sasiska is a very sort of well-travelled, well-versed European player. So you're going to see some high-quality stuff as well. He's also had experience at the highest level of Vainglory. So keep your eyes on him. Now, we're going to have a very, very short break, and when we're back, we'll be set up, ready to go with the next lobby. Stick around.
Try to rock that body, still wear those sneaks. You here every week, you're the DJ for me. Try to rock that body, still wear those sneaks. Baby girl, I'm savage. Baby girl, I'm active. And when it's super active, this, that's a dance. That's the way that you're dancing. Hips doing that damage. Don't wanna see no landers. And I know you speak Spanish. Baby girl, I'm savage.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We had a short break. We have the lobby ready, and I believe we're going to jump into draft ASAP. No time to talk about giveaways. I'll do that later on, because we want to get straight on with this series. This is the Vainglory League Challenger Series. This is Split 1. I'm joined by Humanist, and Dowsey. And we are already into the draft phase here between these two amazing teams. It's going to be Waves versus THN Envy. We saw THN Envy play yesterday. They were fantastic. They were really strong. Brought a very good performance against, I think it was Deadly Kittens or something along those lines. So, I mean, they looked very, very good. Humanist, we saw them play, and they looked fantastic, but they're going up against a super veteran team of the likes of Sasiska and Bong Mabu, potentially my favourite name of all time.
Yeah. These guys definitely talented players. They have experience at the top level of the competition for Europe. Sasiska bringing the most competition, live event experience, multiple live event experience for Sasiska. I've got to meet him a couple times. Really cool dude. On the flip side, though, I think THN Envy, they look very strong and definitely a team that could move forward here.
Absolutely. This is going to be a really, really good game. And it looks like actually Wave are going to essentially lock in the Finn as first rotation here. One of the first teams we've seen do that in the Challenger Series thus far. And we talked about the strength of particular captains. It looks like Wave put a lot of value on Finn as a captain here.
Makes sense, I think. You know, Finn kind of saw a little bit of a dip in competitive play, but we've seen him come back strong recently over in North America with the VIS Pro League. So, you know, I'm expecting Finn to be a really good pick. It also allows you to kind of plan what you're going to do around the first 2 picks of your team. Finn's pretty good into most team compositions, and so then you can choose, what do I want as a carry on lane to counter whatever the other team's bringing at you.
Absolutely.
I think also with healers taken off the board, Finn really adds a lot to the laning phase. Just giving a little bit of durability and the ability to harass without taking too much damage.
Absolutely. It's going to be Kestrel and Arden locked in here in second rotation for THN. And it's going to be the Koshka again. Koshka seeing more and more play. Koshka Vox, almost an exact identical composition, barring that captain player over for Wave. So they're going to take that sort of double dive composition almost. Will we see Wave having the same issue with the Vox where they didn't feel like they could follow up on the Koshka? Because you were mentioning that, Humus, where it felt like Mr. Keiko last game was struggling to sort of find those dives with that Koshka.
He was struggling. Ultimately, he was able to do it once he got his boots, tier 3 boots up and running. I think Finn actually solves the problem. Ozo comes out at the end, but Finn solves that problem. If Finn can pull someone in, suddenly Vox is in range, and that's not a problem. Ozo's going to have a lot of fun this game. I don't think he'll be able to go toe-to-toe with the Koshka one-on-one, but anytime you get in an area where he can bounce off something, he should be able to win that matchup.
Well, the compositions are locked in, gentlemen. It's going to be the Vox, Koshka, Finn. It's going to be the Kestrel, the Arden, and the Ozo. So the Ozo locked in. Humanist is going to have a whale of a time in this game. And I'm going to hand it over to you two beautiful gentlemen to take it away, Dowsey and Humanist. Don't let Humanist talk too long about Ozo, Dowsey. He could spend the entire game doing so. I know how much he loves that particular hero. So I'll let you two take it away. Remember to keep a leash on that Ozo.
No worries. Well, we'll allow you a bit of.
It's okay. I put a ring on it
because. Good job. Well, you own it now, don't you? And Ozo does have plenty of rings to put on, so I can see where you've done that. Ozo got buffed this patch. That's the thing I wanted to talk to you most about. Do you think this the buff to his cooldowns is going to bring him straight back into competitive play?
Oh, I mean, Ozo's just received buff after buff after buff. I feel if you have a strong lane weapon carry, that Ozo's one of the best picks you could put in the jungle right now on a CP build. He can burst an entire team from 100 down to below 50% health with one of his combos, and even from the early game, once he hits his level 2, he should be able to move up after every jungle rotation and look to find a kill on the opposing laner if they're like halfway across the lane or more.
Okay, so we'll keep our eyes out on that one. It is going to be a weapon-powered Kestrel for IM Freelo. Interesting to see how that one plays out against the Vox. We're going to receive a bit of harass early from Shashiska on that kitty cat, the Koshka.
Yeah, so the kitty cat will be running around looking to burst people down. You can see that Ozo doesn't really want to mess with that Elder Treant early, but he's going to move up the lane. See if he can get an Acro Bounce on the Bong Bamboo here.
Yeah, definitely looking for it. And Dorcas going to dive forward. Work the blood, just a bit of damage onto the box, nothing really too much. And actually, they don't give up the position of Israel there, who's just going to go back to the jungle, farm up the Treant.
Yeah, one of the other things, though, I think what they would like to do ideally is like when you have that Acro Bounce forward, you're also like vanguarding into him at the same time, so it's just this huge burst that comes out, but they actually have to land that. So Siska
doing so much damage. I guess the Iron Freelo does have that ability to active camo at all times, as it is a weapon power build, so unlike the Kestrel from our previous game, was Crystal Power, has to wait for the damage to have been done and then wait a couple of seconds afterwards. When you build Weapon Power on the Kestrel, you can use your active camo almost instantly after taking damage. So a bit of a point there to keep in mind for Iron Freelo. Might just be able to escape some bouncy fun.
Yeah, definitely. If they can, just have a general idea of where Koshka's rotating from, yeah, as you mentioned, I think it should be pretty easy for IM Freelo to go ahead and get out of a lot of these things with an active camo. Nakoa also is going to be important for him, especially as we get into the mid portion of this game, the later portions of this game, that he needs to have vision down. If you allow this weapon Kestrel to start to, and depending on the build too, but if you allow her to start to get some damage built up and then switch targets, because she can active camo, move to the back line of the fight. If he could drop a flare, it eliminates that ability.
It does. Something we didn't really see too much. you know, the contraptions coming through, but it wasn't necessarily, you know, game losing anyway. So we'll just have to see.
Ghost ended up building contraption last game for Lemon and Lion. That was nice to see.
Yeah, I don't think he did in the first game. So
Learned his lesson.
learned his lesson. Yep. Let's see if Kala Nakawa can also. Did I say that right? Kala Nakawa.
I said Kala Nakoa. I don't know.
Cool. Can also learn that lesson. It's a very balanced game at the moment. Both teams just farming up here. You might see Shashiska for a bit of fun with this Ozo. They're actually going to fight over this tree end, and it's secured by the Koshka, who's just going to run away with that extra kill. However, Dolka's going to come through at a Vanguard, keeps Israel straight on this kitty cat. The momentum.
He got it! He got it!
Acro bounce the double. Shashiska will come through. Now Israel and Lane looking to do the same to Botma Boo, and here comes the Kestrel as well. Another shot's going forward. Oh, that was too deep! First blood will go to the kitty cat Koshka. Shashiska going to walk away with that bonus goal.
Yep. Getting it done. That was close on both sides.
Looking for a little bit more. Maybe Shashiska feeling a bit brave now. They have that yummy catnip frenzy.
Historically, I've seen Sasiska playing in the roam captain position, so this is really cool to see him jungling. I'm excited to see what he can accomplish. Going back to Ozo's rotation, though, him chasing that Koshka down, I think that's a big mistake. He needs to correct that. And he needs to, at full health, after taking a jungle rotation, he needs to go up to lane and jump on the Vox. Like, you saw Vox almost die, and he dove super far under turret for that. But imagine if all the time that he was chasing Koshka and the first 2 acro bounces he put out there, if those were going onto the Vox. I just think it would be much better used.
Sure. Of course, when Dorcas does unlock the gauntlet, that's an opportunity for Israel to really have a lot of fun. Here comes the Bangarang, they're just going to go straight on to Bongma Boo, looking for the acro bounces onto that box, but not hitting them, and now Shashiska's looking to try and turn the fight onto I Am Freelo. Fountain goes out for both teams, everyone healing up as Kala Nakawa in the middle of the fight, and lay down some flight companies keep people healthy, and everyone's just going to walk away from the lane.
Nothing to see here.
That's it.
Well, okay, so one of the things, a reduced cooldown you're going to see in Ozo as of recent on that ultimate, so his Bangarang is basically timed off of a jungle rotation now. It's maybe slightly, at level 1, slightly longer than your jungle rotation if you're clearing faster. So you see right now, he's going to take this jungle rotation. If he does this ideally, he'll be able to move right back up and just Bangarang. Not to say that you need the Bangarang to start off the engagement, but he'll have it available.
Just going to steal away another Treant, so looking to put as much pressure onto Israel as possible. It is a CS lead for Israel, but there is plenty of camps available in the side jungle for Shashiska to go take. Currently, it seems like Koshka just kind of wants to live in the red side jungle, steal away as much gold as possible from the Ozo. Everyone is kind of just walking away, buying up a couple of scout traps here.
And we're looking at as far as levels. You mentioned Gauntlet's going to be a big tool for THN Envy. Also, the Force to Cord for Kala Nakoa is one shot, gives him a bit of a tickle there. That's Force to Cord be a big power spike over for this team. So Wave should be able to reposition their opponents and then take advantage of that.
Yeah, and actually look at the items as well. Shashiska's just finished Aftershock. Bongman Boo has the breaking point, but I Am Freelo is mixed build, or Ozo does have the Aftershock. So there is a bit of an item difference here for Wave, as they are slightly ahead in their item builds. To I Am Freelo, they've purchased up. So I do like
that Ozo went for tier 1 armor and shield. Just gives him a little bit more durability because he has naturally so much burst and sustain from his lifesteal that comes out. I think it's a really nice item build out of him.
Yeah, no, it just allows you to bounce around the fight for a little bit longer, right? And dish out some more
you
damage.
get that free ring off, you get some regen, you're right back up in fighting shape, and you're just out trading your opponent constantly.
Definitely the aim. With Poison Shiv a little bit more viable, I wonder if we'll see Bongma Boo purchase it here on this box. We've seen pretty much a full crit build coming out, you know, the breaking point into double Tyrant's Monocle. But you know, as you say, so much sustain available for the Ozo. Kind of have to deal with it.
You do, but right now I'm not feeling the impact of the Ozo in this game, and I think we should have felt it like 4 minutes ago. So I don't know if it's like a... It's hard to say because he also landed some acro bounces that made me feel like he is an Ozo player, like some long-range acro bounces that you have to be pretty quick to land. But the impact really isn't there right now. Not to say that it's like game losing that he hasn't. I just don't think the full advantage of the kit's, or he hasn't taken full advantage of his kit.
Definitely something you need to be able to do, because Ozo's power comes from you being able to hit those combos every time, all the time.
On the right targets too.
But back to farming we go. A bit of a lead here for Wave. Just, you know, 1,000 gold pretty much. Not really that much. 9 minutes, nothing to scream home about. We are pushing up the lane. Currently sitting in this mustache bush. But TH and MV aren't really looking for a fight here. Once more we see Israel head back to the backs to do a bit more farming. Obviously looking for a second item here before they really look to nail him.
Yeah, we'll see if he rotates up before this fight happens. It feels like Wave want to fight, so Cisco's really hung around for a long time. They might be looking for a pull.
Maybe on to I Am Frilo here. Israel shows his face.
They're both teams
boxes
just
on
baiting now
everyone.
and teasing each other with those teleports.
Yeah, aren't they? One shot used onto the gold mine to see if they were doing it, and they aren't. So that cooldown is down for the next 50 seconds. THMV just going to push in the lane, force a rotation out of Wave here. Wave, of course, going to follow suit. And, you know, it's hard to watch games like this and think, you know, you just want some action, but realistically, it's kind of what both teams want to do. There's no real need to go in for all-in fight. If you do pull that trigger, both teams have such great engage tools. The Force Accord, Polite Company Quibble can do so much, you know, splash damage. On THNV, they have that, you know, gauntlet, but then if everyone's in a gauntlet, that plays straight into Bongmabu's power, which is everyone grouped up together. So both teams have to be very sure that the fight is what they want, because when it does happen, it will be explosive.
It really will.
Oh.
Right here.
Unless you just allow yourself to get pulled in, forced accord, and that's that. Dorcas was just sitting under the turret the whole time. Didn't even move an inch to try and help.
I feel like
he
was like walking. Maybe he was walking forward and then stop. I don't know.
A bit weird. Maybe having a bit of issues. Still there. We'll have to see what happens with this one. But it is going to be the gold mine secured here for Wave.
It's brutal. It's also Ozo's boots are on cooldown as he started to boot towards gold mine. And a flare came out and he immediately turned around. So looking at 135-second cooldown, that's a big deal for him.
I wonder what's going on with Dorcas here.
Yeah.
It does seem like he may have disconnected. Nope,
He's back.
He's active. Cool. Timing is real. Giving the opportunity to beat the cat.
Mom, quit bothering me. Playing Bingbray.
Nice one shot onto Bongmabu. Does do a little bit of damage. But as it is a weapon powered Kestrel, the one shots aren't going to do as much damage, not going to be as explosive. THMV, they are here looking for something. Israel sticking in this lane for quite some time. It's probably the most time he's actually spent in the lane as a jungler so far this game. With that flare revealing his position, he is just going to back up, go do his backs once more. So another opportunity not able to be secured as the gold lead for Wave increases to 2,000. Actually, it looks like they might look for a fight here. There it is. Quibble pulls him in, and I Am Frilo, just true to his name, falls down. Impressive stuff from the Koshka. Shashiska going to take that one away, and now this turret will easily be secured. Israel may acro bounce around, looking for a bit of damage here onto everyone. Dork is going to come in Vanguard to try and support the Monkey King, but there's a Force Accord pulling him in. Possibly not where you want him to be. That's going to be locking right down, and now they should be able to find the kill onto Israel fairly easily.
I don't know why Dorcas didn't fountain him there. I feel like he could have fountained, dropped a gauntlet to split the team, and his Vanguard would have been back up. I mean, that's just a personal choice. Maybe maybe it is a connection issue thing happening for Dorcas right now. Tough to see here. Also, one of the things that was a bit of a negative for THNNV was that I'm Free Low, before he went down, he popped this infusion, so that's a level 9 infusion, just going to waste pretty much.
Very interesting stuff, guys. Yeah, Dorcas's play is a bit odd, so maybe we excuse it for now until we know more.
No excuses!
Well, the excuse of connection error, you know.
That's what I do. Like, if I start having a bad game, I just stand still in the middle of the lane so people think that I'm DC'd. I'm like, dude, what am I gonna do? Comcast, am I right?
Right? American internet, we all love it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's completely out of my control. Oh, I joke, I kid, but yeah, it's not something you want to deal with. See, though, it looks like he's back and ready to fight.
And actually, a great move here from Wave to pull straight on in. Do they want the fight is the question. There goes the force cord, pulls in the 2 targets they want as well. Iron Freelo just about gets away, and he is going to get locked down. Though Gauntlet's there, Freelo goes down. Now looking for Israel, but he's bouncing around the fight. Great quibble to lock him on up. Just leaves Dorcas here, left alive, but not for long. A double kill for Shoshiska, and a 7-0 lead currently for Wave. They're going to take the gold mine, take the turret, take everything.
Yeah, I actually didn't see if Sasiska was able to get out of the gauntlet because he Yummy Catnip Frenzied onto I'm Freelo's Kestrel on the outside of that gauntlet. I don't know if he used his Aegis as he went through the wall or if he got through it before the wall went down. Either way, he was able to escape.
I would say no.
It just came up.
Okay.
So, either way, he got onto the right target. It was a decent fight for them. Active camo went off out of I'm Freelo. They just don't have the same damage output right now, though.
And I'm not sure they will hit it either. You know, Vox is going to scale much better than the weapon powered Kestrel. Ozo is going to hit a state where he starts falling off just a little bit. You know, his damage is more early game orientated, mid game orientated than the late game. And you know, we're at 15 minutes now. The Kraken has landed on the fold.
It's weird though because it's like he's not early game true like Koshka. It's like early game if it's team fight oriented, but it just wasn't. And that like half of that was based off of what Waves were doing, so they kind of negated that power spike of the Ozo there. So I think that's credit to them in that regard.
Intelligent play around your enemy's power spikes, so that makes your win conditions a little bit easier. Now it's just a game of dancing around this Kraken. One shot lands onto Finn. Says, "Did something hit me?" Not quite sure.
Okay.
Okay. Very doesn't care. Those one shots aren't doing huge damage anyway. They're just going to clear out the vision here. Everyone recalls on the side of THN Envy. It's going to be Atlas Pauldron and Broken Myth purchased up. So a bit of power for these guys. Perhaps one of their last opportunities to really have a huge impact on the game.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup. Ideally, before they fight, even though he has this item pickup, I'd really still like to see an infusion come out for him, and I am Freelo. Ideal world, Dorcas would be able to infuse up as well. They really need to have some sort of spike before they get in for this fight.
They will have the opportunity to buy infusions if that's their plan before this fight starts by the looks of things. But Wave, once more, they're making the moves, and oh, THMV, they're completely being caught out here. There's no way they escape this fight, so they have to turn and they have to go on. It's going to be Israel bouncing around, but this time he blocks the ult, doesn't matter. This Koshka is ridiculous, and a great force to court pulls Freelo back into the fight. They're going to go for Dorcas, a double kill for Shishishka. Make that a triple, he's kind of a big deal here, as the ace does come through for Wave. They're just going to take this anchored turret. What's the respawn? 20 seconds. They could possibly look for the end, but no, they're going to turn and go for the Kraken nonetheless.
This is impressive stuff. I am excited for both Bong Mabu and Sasiska. I don't know Colin the co-op. Never met Bong Mabu. Have, like I said before, got to meet Sasiska a couple times, and this is a dude that he loves Vainglory. He's competed multiple times at live events, and here in the Challenger Series, this team looks very strong, and the way they're playing could be a team that maybe gets into the challenge battles and makes a Vainglory 8 team, or gives them a run for their money. And how cool would it be to see these guys that were, once there, battle their way back and get on top again?
Truly be a bit of a gauntlet run for these guys to make it all the way from the bottom back to the top. Currently, they're looking good for it. 10-0. Shishishka has 9 of those kills. And the Kraken unleashed. They're going to look to try and finish this one off. Looking for a bit of a cheeky pull over the wall here. Kala Nakawa, no one really giving him the opportunity to do so. Everyone walks away. Israel is standing still.
You see how
that
he's
was-
constantly doing teleports and turning back? He's like, he's
Yeah.
trying to make it really hard for them to read his pull animation, so that maybe he baits out a Crucible or something like that.
And currently, it is just looking like it'll all be over here. First turret goes down, Bangarang pushes Bongman Fu straight into the fight, but he gets back out, and now the damage just goes down. Shashiska, his 10th kill, looking for an 11th on to Israel, who's dancing around the fight. Will be him falling down. Dorcas goes down, and Bongman Fu does find a double kill to finish this one off. 13-0 at 19 minutes. They give up not a single objective. The definition of a clean surgical gaming scoundrel.
Hell, that was a great game from a team that we have seen perform at the highest level of Vainglory before. They really, really look good. Sisiska, it's so nice to see them return to the fold, looking strong. You know, off the back of the I think they were previously with Snow Tsunami. It was definitely Sisiska was, so it's nice to see them return, and again, like we said, have a really dominant game against a team that looked very, very good yesterday. I mean, they looked fantastic, THNMV. It was really, really good to see them play, and again, we are in a best of 3 series here, so we still have yet another game to go here. Maybe THNMV can make it back into this game, Dalsey. We'll have to see. What do you think needs to change up this time round? What do THNMV need to do better? Because I feel like that was very calculated from the Wave team.
Human has said it best, I think, is that they picked these heroes that have different power spikes, but then didn't actually play around them. The Ozo continuously farmed, never really was able to get into the fight, and credit to where credit's due, Wave were the ones who were kind of negating the ability for Ozo to have an influence. So maybe what THMB need to do is pick heroes that have maybe less readable attributes, strengths that can be negated through position, and try and force things against their opponents, or else it is just going to be Waves continuously building up and taking objective after objective until the comeback is impossible.
So, Humanist, that was a game of Ozo that didn't quite go the way maybe you would have hoped after having seen an Ozo locked in here for THNMV. Do you think they stray away from that? I mean, it can be quite difficult to make Ozo work. We saw TSM try to bring out the weapon power Ozo at Worlds and fall flat on their face. Is it something that you think just trying to move away from?
I think you overestimate my bias a little bit.
I'm still convinced that you're an Ozo fanboy and that every time it gets locked in, you're rooting for the Ozo team. But maybe I'm wrong.
Yes, but it's also like if Ozo became, I wouldn't. I rooted for the Baron in the same way. I really like the kind of niche picks, and it's always fun to see different things. I also think that it is very strong. It's gotten buffed in different patches, even when it was debatably okay before. So right now you can play almost anything in the current meta as it stands. So it allows these different picks to come through, which is really cool. And Dowsey kind of touched on what we were talking about in the cast, which was like, yeah, you picked it, but you didn't play to the strengths of the hero. So it doesn't matter. Like if you pick Finn, you do a weapon build and try to lane him, maybe you're not going to have the Finn impact, right?
Yeah, I think you're probably right there. Just maybe we see them go back to it, maybe we don't. And again, like I said, try and find something that THNMV used and executed properly yesterday. Try and stick to their strengths. Maybe we see them find their way back into this series. But they're against a very, very hard opposition. I mean, the Waves team are basically 2/3 of what was once Snow Tsunami, I believe. I know Sisiska and Bongmabu, I think, both had experience on that team. So, yeah, I mean, this is a team that's played at the highest level of Vainglory. This is a team that's been to live championships and competed at the live championships. So you've got players with extreme veteran status on the team. Now, guys, we are just waiting for the teams to get ready before we go into the draft phase once more. We're going to just talk to you about this giveaway that we have going on. It's a fantastic giveaway. It's 2 Elgato HD60S capture cards, and we're doing a weekly giveaway of 9,000 ice. There is a URL that you should type in. Go and check it out at the bottom of your screen, and you can go and check out that giveaway and enter it. Again, 9,000 weekly ice, and also across the split, 2 of these Elgato HD60S capture cards. They are fantastic pieces of equipment. And speaking of the HD60S capture cards, not only does our winning team get a chance at the challenge battles to make it to the professional leagues, not only do they get a lion's share of $2,500 per split, they also get 3 custom printed HD60S capture cards with the VGL logo and a red motif, and the winning hero composition that they used to win the VGL finals printed onto their capture card. to have that embezzled in time, so they'll always remember how they managed to secure their potential path to the professional Vainglory play. It's a fantastic, fantastic, fantastic prize, and I wish I was good enough at Vainglory to be able to compete and win that. Now we're into draft phase, ladies and gentlemen. We have got the team swapped over. It is 1-0 right now to the Waves team. Humanist and Dalsey, draft phase has begun. Kestrel, banned. We're waiting for the ban from Wave.
It's interesting that THN Envy are banning away the Kestrel. I guess they put a lot of priority on the Kestrel being fairly good right now. I don't want to see Wave pick that up. It also shows that they're not willing to pick it first going into this next game. I'm not sure what I would want from THN Envy in this next game. I'm not sure Ozo is the right choice though.
Yeah, I think it's something that you usually want to pick on B side as the third pick. Like that's the ideal, I guess, for a lot of picks. But he definitely kind of fits into that sort of slot. And well, right now they highlight the Finn. They're gonna go with Finn. Okay.
Wow, the Finn is prioritized by both teams this time round as first pick. So again, it's going to be the THN team saying that we value the Finn over anything else. And it's going to be the Adagio and potentially thinking about a Black Feather here. We'll wait till they lock it in to really talk about that second pick. But the Adagio prioritized right now for Sisiska. And it's going to be the Black Feather. So Black Feather Adagio on first rotation here for Wave. How do you feel about that, guys?
Very strong. We've seen it be successful already in Memento Mori game. You know, Adagio was banned in the previous draft, and so with it not being banned this time, we prioritize it. And we're talking about how Finn's really strong when there's no healing to go against. Now there is a bit of healing to go against, so we'll have to see how THNB are able to work around that.
Absolutely. It's going to be potentially a last pick in here. It's going to be the Samuel, though. We're thinking about Rhyme or Petal, but Samuel gets locked in with the Vox right now for THN. So that is the Finn, Vox, and Samuel composition coming out from these guys. Not quite up to the same effect as you saw from the Koshka Vox that we had. So they're not going to be looking to dive into it. They've got great range of Koshka. And it will be Wave again. Sisiska valuing that Koshka really played brilliantly with it. So he's going to lock that in once more. Kind of doing the same thing. Two dive-heavy compositions for Wave. Humanist and Dalsey, this is time for you to take it away.
Very much. This is a scary position Wave have drafted here, Humanist. Melee orientated, as you can see. Of course, that Adagio will be there, but it's in that captain role. These guys are looking for all-in brawls against THN Envy, and I can see why. If they can get onto Samuel, do a lot of damage to him, it's going to be hard. Fox has a low range as well, so it plays into that. But against a Finn, it's always a little bit scary to run full melee.
You know, as you mentioned it, like I think you can look at it both ways. One of the things that I'm seeing potentially for THN and V, if they can capitalize on it, is if you're closing the gap onto Samuel, then you're within range of the Vox. And that could be a weakness for them. If you're going on the Vox, then Samuel has, you know, a free reign to do what he wants to. Whatever it is, I think the linchpin of the success of THN Envy or the downfall of Wave is going to be the Samuel.
We'll have to see how it does play out, guys. This is game 2 of our series between THN Envy and Waves, who are currently 1-0 in the series against their opponents. Last game, it was a very slow start. I wonder if it'll be similar this time. I feel like for THNB, they kind of have to turn the heat up sooner rather than later against Waves. Cannot allow them to play a slow game, because Waves' slow play was just so much stronger than THNB's, and I want to see THNB kind of just look to try and put lots of pressure towards Waves. Always keep them on their feet.
Yeah, I'd really like to see them come back here in game 2 and put on a bit of a show. Israel, nice rotation up.
So Shiska will be making his way around the back, going to steal away this treant. Israel is there though, will not be able to stop it, but may look for a bit of a fight. Of course, there's no Crystal Sentry to really do any work, and actually Israel may be in a bit of trouble here. So Shiska's looking for first blood, and See no way he won't get it. There it is. First blood goes to the kitty cat, and now in the lane it's a bit of a brawl as well. It's on point, slowing everyone down. I am Freelo taking huge chunks, burning away. Dorcas also going to take a bit of a hit, but a little bit tankier than the Vox. It's a great start for Waves as they continue their momentum from the previous game.
Yeah, this is a golden 10 out of 10 start here for Waves. I really like what they were able to do. And Koshka was finding that kill in the jungle, and it was Kalanako and Bong Mabu just playing around the cooldowns of both themselves and their opponents very cleanly, and it was just, they saw an opportunity, they went immediately. I'm just seeing really clean engagements coming out of this team right now. I like it a lot.
Absolutely. A bit scary as well. It's going to be Israel coming up to lane. Bong Mabu is by himself. Israel actually not looking for anything here. Shishishka though, look at his positioning. Constantly going to be putting pressure on the Samuel jungle, trying to catch him out in a position where Dorcas can't really react to get down to. Unlike other captain heroes, this Finn is very slow, makes things hard, and actually Dorcas all by himself now in lane, so Shishishka's just going to continue the pressure that this Koshka can put out, constantly harassing.
And what's really cool is, like, Cisco, he wants to take the Elder Treant, but he doesn't want to be contested. Finn really doesn't want to move, but if he does move, he can have an impact. But Sasiska moves up, chunks him down in that health, and it means Finn's just like, you know what, I'm still moving. I'm not even gonna, it's not even an option for me to rotate anymore. So Sasiska just a wonderful movement set of him.
Absolutely. It's that continuous harass, you know, a bit of damage here, a bit of a, you know, poke there. It keeps THN Envy constantly on the back foot as far as momentum is concerned, as far as the tempo in this game is concerned. Now Cisco's going to walk straight into Israel. Going to take away this tree, and oh, it's deja vu. But this time, THNV are going to rotate with the Samuel to make sure that Koshka cannot burst them. Will they overextend is the real question. So Cisco has the backup of Kala Nakao. As Bong Mabu just going to take the CS in the lane. The jungle has intensified, which means the item shop
so
is
intense.
here. The Crystal Sentry is also here. I was when I first saw that at the pre-seasonal invitational come up on my screen, I immediately found a picture of the jungle and made my own intensified me. It was hilarious, but maybe my humor is just to my own.
It's alright, if it gives you a laugh, that's all that matters. Well, it's gonna be I'm Freelo, he came back to base along with Dorcas. They wanted a shot, but they wanted to also be able to regen back up, get back out on the map. Right now, Waves, as you mentioned earlier, doing a good job just to set the pace. As far as something, you know, we wanted to keep our eyes on this game, the Samuel is kind of is a big factor for what THND can look to accomplish this game, but it's also specifically the matchup with Koshka and the Samuel. You want to see like who's getting the advantage in those matchups. Sasiska getting aggressive. But Sasiska thus far has done a really good job to abuse his move speed, so he's not landing malice and verdicts.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at this. That's the Yummy Catnip Frenzy straight onto Freelo, and he will be taken down. The burn from Kala Nakao was too much for the Vox. And so, 2-0 currently.
Okay. Dorcas didn't fountain again.
Yeah, you're right. That's so strange.
I'm really confused. Maybe I'm like missing something. Anyway, Siska and company trying to get some damage done.
Israel here, trying to lay down the damage. No, it's hard. Because it is just a blatant mistake, really, isn't it, Humanist? Dorcas has fountain available. We can see it there on our screens. He had a chance to use it.
It's either that or it's like he's got some strategy that he would just prefer, which is like, okay, maybe the respawn timers are really short right now and he doesn't think saving I'm Freelo is worth it.
Perhaps there is always those mind games played. You can see that was, you know, possibly the case. He did use it there to negate a full-on brawl, save, you know, 3 lives instead of 1 with a fountain. I guess you could call it net worth, perhaps. But
look how scared they're playing, though. They have no idea what's happening on this map. Like Blackfeather went to shop, Koshka's at her backs, and they were like cautiously sitting on their side of that left mustache brush.
Yeah, no, it's the difference between the two teams, and the power they have in this game is you can taste it. Like it's huge. THN Envy are almost prisoners in this game.
Yeah. Well, I guess silver lining. the waves constantly pushed up to their side. It means I'm Frielo should be able to have decent farm. He's keeping up in farm right now, which is good, and he hasn't hit the power spikes that Vox really needs to start turning fights around. Also, when you're constantly pressured up against your own turret, that's the best position for the Finn to be fighting from, because he wants to pull people underneath his own turret, take advantage of that.
Certainly does. Have to wait for that Force Accord to be available for Dorcas. It could be the turning point. Didn't really see too many gauntlets that influenced any fights at all. Well, of course, because it was a 13-0, so...
Last game, the rotations that were happening from Sasiska, I wanted to, like, give warning pings to THN and be like, half the time he was rotating on them. That's kind of silly, but I'm just like, it makes me wonder, like, how aware they are of his rotations.
There's almost no vision on the map. You know, there is no vision on the map for TH and NV, so it's all guesswork, really, as to where this Koshka may be. And currently, Waves, they have the ability to just walk wherever they want to go. A bit of, you know, room given to THMB, but it could just be a bait, and actually it is. They're just going to go straight for the fight here. False sense of security and looking to try and turn it, but Shishiska's getting bursted down, and there's the Force Accord straight on to the Adagio, straight in the middle of the fight. That's going to be Bongma Bu going very low. Great burst of judgment, does do huge damage and disengages the fight, but the Fountain from Dorcas means that they're all nice and healthy. They can look for a re-engage here. Waves.
They have an advantage right now if Israel can get a Drifting Dark into a Malice and Verdict. He also has Corrupted Genius to sustain himself, so if they can hold on to this advantage, it would be really good.
Bongma Bu putting it out to good damage. Oblivion goes down, but it's completely missed. Now Shishiska can go straight onto the back line, take down Freelo, and look for even more here. Israel will fall. It's a double for Shishiska. Now it is going to be Dorcas just left alone. Everyone's so low. I wonder if Dorcas tries to go for a kill here. What Wave can do realistically, it's not much. A really interesting play there, Humanist. Waves gave a false sense of security to TH Envy, and they pushed up the lane. And actually, Waves then overestimated their ability to take the fight. However, they reset the fight, waited for cooldowns, and just completely went at it.
Yeah, exactly. They went at it super hard. Also, it's just like, I'm trying to figure out a way to explain it, but it's almost like TH and Envy are, when it comes to engaging, I feel like they're only about 50 to 60% as good as Waves are when it comes to that team fighting capability.
Certainly can see it so far. You know, Israel was quick on the gun to pull the Oblivion, completely baited out by Shishiska, who just turned around immediately and then went in onto the fight. Once that was gone, there was no stopping the kitty cat. However, Force Accord is available. Wait for it as well. There's two ultimates there for TH and NV with the Oblivion 10 seconds away. First going to be up at the same time. So the cooldowns have been reset here. Have to see if TH NV can, you know, find a pick and start getting, you know, a claw back into this game.
Yeah, they're definitely not out of this game. The net worth's not too far apart. Vox has a lot of strength if he can get on top of one of these targets. Koshka's kind of squishy if she's locked down here. Dorcas can do that. We're also getting closer to level 8, so Finn will be able to have an AoE stun with that Quibble. That's a really big power spike for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have to see, can they make use of it, really? It kind of feels like TH Envy, they hit their power spikes and then nothing happens. And so realistically, what we want is them to start to do that.
I'd like to see also Israel throw a Drifting Dark at like a very soft forward angle, like almost perpendicular to the actual fight that's happening, so he can kind of run like sideways at them and stay in these fights. The last 3 Drifting Darks I think I've seen were like almost directly backwards, and so his only option is to actually move backwards. Even though he had advantage, he couldn't move forward at his opponent.
Yeah, absolutely. Now they're going for the fight here. It is going to be turned around though for TH Envy. Shishiska not out of it yet. They're going to pull the Adagio and take him on out, but the turret is taking a beating as this all is happening. TH and Envy have got a bit of red eyes, really, the bloodlust for this Koshka, who's just going to run out. So kill trade for objective, net worth really for Wave, and now they're just going to disengage. Actually, Bongman Boo up, being thrown out, but won't hit this Black Feather. They are able to secure the kill nonetheless. Shishka now looking to see if he can play cleanup, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, a bit of indecisiveness out of TH and NV, but they make the rotation up, catch Bongman Boo. It's exactly what they need to do.
So at this point, you know, Humanist, Waves have shown that they're in full control of the game, that they're the ones dictating almost every piece of action that happens so far. What does TH and Envy need to do to start to regain control of this game?
So, for example, who is this? Dorcas. Dorcas just dropped down to shop and bought an item. I'm not sure what he actually picked up right there, but there's a scout trap in that brush. Vision is huge, and they need to control vision, at least over the middle area of this map, and that means taking advantage of moments like that to clear every brush out. So he walked into that brush, he's not under threat, and that scout trap remains. And it's things like that they're going to have to clean up if they want to pull their way back into this game.
See if they're able to do so. Shishka looks for an engage here, but isn't quite able to find the damage. Actually, a Force Accord goes out, blocked away. Good Crucible from Color. Now Shishka will look to try and engage here. The Drifting Dark's going down. Bongman Boo onto the back line. Iron Freelo getting just chunked away. Bongman Boo looking for the kill, but the Malice and Verdicts are going to save Iron Freelo. They are able to trade the kill in the end, and now we'll have to see where this one goes. It looks like Waves are in position, but Israel is full health, looking to dish out the damage with Drifting Dark, but Shishka takes down Dorcas. It leaves Israel all by himself, and he's trying his best to get onto this Koshka, but the heals are coming out from Kala Nakawa, and now Israel is forced under the turret. We'll have to walk back. A 2-for-1 in favor of Waves, and TH Envy are not getting a break.
Like, so many different other heroes would have been able to clean up that fight, even 2v1 right there, but the problem for Samuel is, like, there were lane minions there, so his Malice and Verdicts are just getting blocked by all the lane minions that he had aggro on, so that was a tough situation. But TH and Envy, that was a great fight for them as a team. Look at net worth, they're, you know, what, 1k down. That's really not a big deal right now. We're gonna see Israel picking up his Broken Myth soon, and that's a massive power spike here for the Samuel. If he doesn't die in the bush.
Yeah, he's just gonna die, isn't he? Oh no!
Rip.
I'm crying for TH and Envy. Every time they have a glimpse of hope, it's taken away. It's snatched and then it's thrown to the ground and stomped on Humanist by Waves. They're bullies, I'm telling you.
But you know what? This is TH and Envy coming into this are the underdogs, okay? But I am seeing so many good things out of them that, like, honestly, if I was a friend of one of these guys, I mean, not to say like I'm not friends with them, Dorcas getting engaged on. I don't know these guys, but I would be super proud of them. Dorcas is gonna go down to Sasuke here.
Oh nope, Fountain saves his life.
Fountain. But they should be really proud. Their fans, their guildmates, they should all be really proud of this team. They're going toe to toe with a team that could potentially be in the Vainglory 8 here after the end of the split. So be proud, and also the mistakes that they're making. It's very clear how you can fix those mistakes, right? Like that last mistake, which is just, you're going to drop down to buy something, get in and out immediately, or make sure you have protection. But they're hitting their power spikes, they're winning team fights, or at least trading evenly. And you can correct these small mistakes, and suddenly you're winning these games.
Right. And it's not over. This is the winner's bracket here. So
yeah,
the loser does fall into the loser's bracket. They have a second chance at this tournament. And the TH and Envy, as you said, underdogs. This is a learning experience. Waves have come into this. They've got veterans on the team, you know, who've played on the international stage. You would expect Waves to be able to, with their experience, clean games up. So good stuff from TH and Envy, but I'd love to see them just take out some kills here, and actually they're turning this fight just a little bit. Drifting Dark straight onto Shiska, and they've blown him up. Raid Boss down. Can they get any more is the question. Going for Kala Nakawa here, and they are going to find the double kill onto this box. Oh my goodness, we've talked about how Waves are in control, but it's all been flipped on its head. Triple kill comes through for Iron Freelo. Maybe TH Envy have just hit the point that they needed to get this box online.
They're really just an amazing fight out of them. Every member of Waves was actually infused during that fight too, so the fact that THNV won that is a huge boost to them. This is just Vox coming into his own, being able to get on target. It was a very obvious engage out of Waves, and I think a little bit of a misplay.
Now for the Kraken, this is a huge swing in power. The gold is actually in favor of THNV as well, with the Kraken being unleashed. If they can continue the pressure here, they might be able to equalize the series.
Yeah, they really could. This team's looking strong. This is a completely different story than Game 1. I liked their composition from the moment they drafted it up. Like, they have this range threat with Samuel. If they're engaged upon, that means that Vox will be in range to get damage done. And Finn can control the fight in AoE. He's gonna be able to reposition people. And they've played it really well so far. The biggest thing, though, I think here watching is, can Blackfeather get on a target? This is really key to a victory for Waves.
Certainly is. Well, we'll have to see as this Kraken is doing deeps. This turret stands no more. Great force of course straight onto Kalanakawa, who's going to take a huge chunk of damage before the burst of judgment goes out. Chris is going to block it all up, and I am Freelo trying to get away from the fight, and he's going to be able to. There's the kills going out. It's a double. It's a triple. Everyone just gets deleted by THN Envy, and that's just going to be the game right there and then, man. I feel dumb, Humanist, genuinely, because we've talked about how Waves were, like, riding this one out to success, but TH and Envy have turned around and said, we're not out of this, guys. We are the underdogs, but we're going to take this to a game 3, equalize the series as they take down the Vein Crystal.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's as simple as, like, you know, I think we gave them say that these guys are trading evenly, but they were making small mistakes. And if you start to correct small mistakes, like getting caught out at the jungle shop or face checking a bush or anything like that, suddenly things go in your favor. And TH and Envy were able to put the last 2-3 minutes of this game together almost flawlessly, turn this around on Waves, and I'm impressed.
They certainly did. And actually, I was noticing from an outside perspective throughout the game, despite the fact it looked like the boys from the Waves had the entire sort of game in their hands in terms of their momentum and deciding the fights, goal difference never really went heavily in their favour. Actually, TH and Envy were consistently able to keep up in gold. They were consistently able to keep up in item spikes. And you hit that double that breaking point double tyrants monocle for TH and Envy's team. And that was devastating once they picked it up. You saw the critical strikes when he built up those breaking point stacks against the Blackfeather, against the Koshka. They couldn't burst him quicker than he can burst them. And I think they did a really good job of holding on to that game. Finn seems to be doing wonders for the teams that are prioritising him first and helping them stall and find the fights that they want. So all credit to TH and Envy, because that is now 1-1 between these two teams. I mean, they could definitely take this next game and put one of our favourites, Waves, with the quality of players that they have, knock them into the loser bracket.
Very interesting. This Finn Vox 100% win rate so far in this series makes you wonder if that's going to be a huge priority as we head into the next draft at Scoundrel.
We are waiting to get this draft underway, but you're right, Dalsey. Vox and Finn, huge priority for these two. And again, TH and Envy have shown the kind of prowess that we saw them have yesterday. I mean, they looked completely dominant in their game yesterday. Humanists can attest to that. They had a really, really strong series yesterday. Every series was 2-0, but I believe TH and Envy might have even had one of the quickest games of the entire day. And against this team, we were expecting them to potentially struggle, but they brought it back in game 2. And now it's all up to Wave to have an excellent draft and try and secure these big picks.
Well,
I'm excited to see what happens.
This is the real question. What do you ban? Oh, this is good. I like this. They ban the Kestrel. They leave both Finn and Adagio open. So it means that they're going to have at least one of the top tier supports, no matter what the result is. It looks like it will be an Adagio locked in for Shishishka. So surely THNB lock in a Vox Finn. Yep.
I personally, I'm just gonna throw it out there, but you know, I never got on board the Captain Adagio. I still don't think it's that strong. I see like the usefulness of it, but it's not that great of a playstyle for me.
I think the interesting thing for me about Captain Adagio is you can still be aggressive, and with the health stacking being so good for the healing, it kind of functions in a similar way to Lyra, but just maybe not as good. I almost think that Lyra is better. I mean, if you're gonna pick Lyra or Adagio, you pick Lyra in my opinion, but Adagio has his own uses in a way. Can buff up those weapon power carries as well, remember? So he has kind of got like some elements of being a strong captain. I think his heal is a very good single target heal too. So I don't know. I still think Captain Adagio is okay. I think you're right. I mean, maybe Crystal Power sort of carry Adagio is maybe strictly better. We'll have to see. Vox, Finn, and Glaive being given over to TH and Envy here.
I don't know. Feels like a drafting error. Like I feel like the strength that they brought last game was that they had Finn plus Vox, which is like, okay, Finn is going to help Vox with his range disadvantage, control the fight, give some durability. But they had the Samuel to fight from range, to poke for them. And that's going to put a lot of weight on Glaive's shoulder to reposition people and also be able to burst them at the same time.
Absolutely. Well, we are now about to head on to the Halcyon Fold, which means yet again it is time for Dalcy and Humanist to take the reins and guide us through this potentially devastating final game for Waves, or an excellent final game for Envy. You would think that Waves, if they come off the back of this with a defeat, they will feel hard done by. They'll feel like they have underperformed. And if Envy come off the back of this with a win, they'll certainly be very happy knocking out one of the tournament favourites. It's time for you two to guide us through. So Dalcy and Humanist, take us away.
Thank you very much. It is game 3, guys, of this winners bracket series. Any one of these guys can continue on in the winners bracket. The loser will be relegated to that losers bracket for a second chance in the VGL Challengers series. And it has been a fantastic series so far. Great comeback from TH and Envy, but I think you hit the nail on the head during that draft discussion there, Humanist. The Samuel was so crucial to their power, and it has been stolen away here by Bongma Bu, who I actually believe is going to be laning it, so a bit of a lane swap here. Bongma Bu in the jungle and Shishishka going to the lane.
I really like what they're doing on this rotation right now. So Bongma Bu and Sasiska take the backs together. Adagio's just kind of doing a little bit of scouting. Looks like they might be able to split the mid as well. Now Sasiska's going to move up, but at least that's a nice boost early on here for this Blackfeather. He gets up the lane and he ends up missing one last hit.
So almost nothing, essentially, as you get the gold from the two back camps, the ambience. So it's a nice little adaptation coming through. I like the idea of it. Have to see if it pays off. Israel looking for a bit of a fight, but does miss his afterburn. It does knock Kikala Nakao backwards. Allows Bongman Bu to come through on the Samuel and just put out a bit of hurt.
Well, then one of the things also I think we should keep in mind is trading is going to be very hard for Waves this game, because if an on-point lands onto an enemy hero, Blackfeather has that durability just for a second. He can go ahead and trade. If damage is returned, he's going to be okay. He's going to get healed up by the Adagio. And then Samuel always has the Corrupted Genius perk, so he can go ahead and just get a basic off as needed and regen up right like that. So if they're trading back and forth, eventually TH and Envy will be at a disadvantage.
We'll have to see if that does come through. You mentioned that this Glaive pick was a little bit curious. Looking at the build so far, he hasn't built towards any crystal power items. So we can see a double weapon power composition.
We might, and I'm not sure how that was. I mean, if that's the route they go, then they're gonna look to focus one target down. One of them hopefully has a bone saw, and they can just burn through that target super fast. But that's gonna mean that they have to essentially combo up together and be super focused. So I think it puts a little more pressure on them as a team.
Yeah, very, very curious stuff. This is obviously a very important match for both these teams. Waves, veterans of the Vainglory scene, up against TH and Envy here, who looking to try and make their mark. Both these teams like to play the slow play style, and it paid off huge for TH and Envy in the previous game as they waited for the crit build of the box to come online. Breaking Point, then double Tyrant's Monocle is the build. Once he hits that third item, all of a sudden the damage that the box can unleash is crazy.
I would actually be against putting a second fountain on the Glaive this game. I think that could be kind of cool.
Why is that?
Well, you're gonna have Vox, who he's kind of struggling to get in range. You can't assume that Glaive's gonna reposition someone every time. But if Vox is ever going to commit to a fight, you want to have as much survivability really for him as possible. So I think if they can have the Finn, who's gonna be dropping that Blight Company in and around, giving him a little fortified health, and then you have one fountain. You can stack that second fountain and allow Vox to just be a little bit more wild in his positioning.
Definitely, definitely viable, and we'll have to see if that's something that they go for. The biggest issue I think for TH and Envy is the fact that they are opting in for what looks to be a double weapon powered position, so it does hurt their damage output, so survivability is a great thing. Good damage laid down, great quibble into the Flight Company from Dorcas there, just to allow Iron Freelo to put out that splash damage, the pulse passive, and apparently it's a really strong lane phase coming out of TH and Envy. They've been turned, they've turned their momentum on. They feel confident all of a sudden, maybe too confident. However, though, as Dorcas is actually going super low, that's probably the most proactive I've seen them be, realistically, in the series.
Bong waves.
Yeah.
It was a perfect rotation out of Bong Mabu. They might have an engage here. But I would hope that more Samuels make that rotation, which is the moment you come around that mustache brush, you're lined up for damage. Throw that Drifting Dark right at your opponents who were kind of flexing, like the Finn's constantly being harassing, standing in that brush. You know he's there. Throw the Malice and Verdict and just chase, and they were so close to getting a kill.
And now with everyone so low into the turret on points, going to fly out. So much poke available from Waves here to try and chunk their opponents down. They are going to release the pressure, allow for the recalls back to the base to heal up, but they're going to get their own power spikes nonetheless. It's breaking point acquired here for Vox, a Serpent's Mask for Sashishka, and fountains for both the captains. So items unlocked already. I want to see how the fountains are used. We have kind of questioned Dorcas's usage of fountain in the early stages of the game.
I'm not sure Dorcas knows how fountain works. He's learning. Oh, I tease, I kid. Yeah, I don't know. That's a questionable thing. That'd be something I'd be if Dorcas watched this VOD, heard it, tweet at me. Tell me what's up.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, not saying it's wrong. We don't understand. And you know, you mentioned the point that, you know, Dorcas may be just prioritizing it for bigger fights, and you know, after you said that, there was a bigger fight, and that's when he used it. So it would have been on cooldown if he used it earlier to save his teammate. Perhaps it was kind of a, you know, you're done. Even if I save you, we're going to struggle because you're so low HP. So perhaps it's that all or nothing kind of thought. But look at this, great afterburn straight onto Bong Nabu. Puts him on the back foot, but the Oblivion's going to go down. Never mind, Unstoppable Finn says no. Freelo trying his best to get out of the fight here. There's the fountain used. Dorcas going to put out the Flight Company. Give everyone a bit of help, and that's a great knockback. Sashishka gets knocked into the fray. Going to force the fountain out of Kalanakawa. Currently Waves in position, looking to try and re-engage the fight here onto Dorcas. Israel's there, but he's running out of energy. Means that there's not many afterburns left in this glaive. And looks like Waves are in position to continue the harass under the turret. They have the Malisenbergs that can stack up on their opponents, but once more they realize that there's not really too much to gain. So they're going to steal away a tree and steal away the fronts and allow for the pressure to be reset.
Yeah, and once again they're at massive advantage. So like both teams traded, good damage landed on both sides. Fountain forced out from both teams, but at the end of it, you see Waves was able to take the clean middle part of this map. They take the mid trance away from TH and Envy. They take their own jungle, and they weren't even threatened. Like if they got into a fight, they'd be happy at that point because Adagio had healed them back up. Corrupted Genius out of Samuel doing work for him, and it's just really nice for them.
So currently, momentum kind of in Waves' hands as far as the fights are concerned, but this point Scoundrel made after the second game is that despite these kind of plays that Waves are making, TH and Envy aren't realistically falling behind. They're going to start to farm up the lane. It's a 400 gold disadvantage here that can be easily negated.
Oh no, it's pretty even, I think. This Vox is right on point where he wants to be. He has Tyrant's Monocle completed too.
That's pretty big for Kalanakawa. Means the forced Accord's going to be harder to hit. Dorcas is certainly looking for one right now.
Yeah, it looks like both teams just kind of playing ring around the rosy around these lane minions. Which also, to mention, you know, they played a big impact in the last fight when the Malice and Verdicts were not landing on the TH and Envy. If they can fight without those, it could be really good for them.
Absolutely. Let's see what happens here. THMV gonna split up. Gonna go farm up, buy some stuffs for themselves. Gonna be that coin, lucky coin for Fox, just to start the crit build up. And actually they're looking for an engage here onto Sashishka. Wait for it goes out, doesn't quite hit Sashishka, so he is able to get out of that one. Dorcas throws the Force Accord, not really too influential. So massive cooldowns down. That's going to be 60 seconds of nothing for TH and Envy. You can see that they're going to head to their jungle, start on their backside with Reload Israel sharing the gold together.
Yeah, I'm looking at the build on this glaive. We will see the cooldown glaive this game, and I think that's going to be okay for them.
Bit of an extension here. They're looking to try and push waves off the tower. They're going to do so successfully at this point, but not before the turret takes a huge chunk of damage, down to just 1/4 HP.
Yeah, they're gonna have to be careful and play this super safe. And look at them clumping up once again. If that drifting dart comes out, they have to be so careful. Like they can't allow Malice and people.
See, that's exactly what happens. They split up to allow, or to stop the Malice and Verdicts hitting, and it leaves the turret exposed. I feel like TH and Envy, they're kind of almost happy to give up. It allows a bit more freedom for them, as they're no longer having to continuously rotate to lane to play this game that Waves wants to play. But now the map is a little bit more open for Waves. They can look to try and contest this gold miner, push up, take the backs from TH and Envy, and this is where things get a little bit dicey. They're still trying to scale up this Vox. Hasn't quite hit his power point yet. One Tyrant's Monocle there, looking for that second one.
Yeah, right now I think we see a clear advantage on both sides. There is a damage output advantage for Waves, and there is a disable advantage coming out from TH and Envy. And as the game goes on, those two advantages will become a little bit more clear, I think.
Certainly will. This game, it's hard to call, really. Dorcas missing that Force Accord, it's a bit of a shame. You know, at this time last game, we were kind of saying that Waves had won it. You know, I certainly felt that way. And TH and Envy, they had other things in mind. TH and Envy, I guess they need to keep their heads on more than anything.
Yeah, they really do. Okay, and a lot of people, they talk about glaive scaling. We might have a contest here.
Yeah, actually, we will. They're going to go for it and not able to secure it. Steal it away. It will be taken by Waves. Now the fight will go down. Doesn't look like THNV want it. The Birth of Judgment going to go out. Blocked up by Dorcas. Can everyone get away is the question. Reload challenging the recall. First blood at 12 minutes. It goes the way of Waves. And unfortunately for TH and Envy, the fight to steal the gold miner wasn't successful.
I can't believe that was first blood. 12 minutes in, pretty rare that we have 12 minutes into the game and we haven't had a kill yet, but Wave's able to find it. They're putting this together really nicely. Once again, Bongmabu with a very nicely placed drifting dark, allowing them to follow up with the Malice and Verdict, chasing their opponents, and a little bit of what I wasn't seeing necessarily from Samuel in the last game, even though they were able to win that game. So I just really like what I'm seeing out of Bongmabu right now.
Certainly. Kind of feels like that Samuel was the missing link for TH and Envy in the previous game, and with it gone, it makes things harder. The glaive is very all in, the Samuel is a little bit more sustained, allows for you to continuously put out the damage. Now for TH and Envy, almost at that point, double Tyrant's Monocle. Just a little bit more to go for I Am Freelo to hit that stage, and that's when they're going to feel comfortable looking for full-on fights.
Yeah, and it's all... It's a couple things. Like, you get the Tyrant's Monocle, the second Tyrant's Monocle, that's great. He's going to go with a little bit of defense here. But he also wants to have, when he fights and he's going to feel comfortable, he's going to have a weapon infusion, and he's going to have his tier 3 boots. And having the boots at level 3 is the biggest thing for him, because he can, every 12 seconds, be able to use those boots to chase. And with Vox having the short range, that's exactly what he needs to stick on a target.
Israel going to be optimizing towards the defensive, so perhaps a Atlas Pauldron to come out of him. very shortly, and then we'll have to see if he opts in for the second fountain, as you alluded might be the case here for this game. But it
Either
does
that,
mean...
or, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, go for it.
No, I think also War Treads might be a good choice for the glaive, just to help boost this Vox into position, because it, like him being on target, on his target, is just such a big key to victory here.
Yeah, it certainly is. I feel like for TH and Envy, they just need to play slow, continuously play slow. They look for another engage there. That first judgment not going to do any damage at all. There's the force to core, force to again. That's a good stuff, and now they can look for the fight. Bongman Boo going low, but look at this Fox. He's going down. Fountain keeping him alive. He's going to survive. Can he get away? No, he can't. Shiska will be able to get on point and take him down, and now it's a long run to the base. A double kill for Shiska. Dorcas should be able to get away, and a bit of a pause here to recollect our thoughts. Humanist double kill goes over. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of Waves.
I think they wanted us to notice the 22 breaking point stacks over here on our Black Feather. That's pretty serious.
Yeah, just getting word that there's you know, TeamSpeak issues for Waves, so just taking a bit of a pause for a technical issue, have that sorted as soon as possible. But you know, despite the VoIP issues that they're having, didn't seem to influence that fight too much.
Hey guys, I'm back. I'm jumping in. I'm coming.
Oh, I'm subbed in.
I'm subbing in just to help you guys out, just to keep the conversation flowing. I mean, from an outsider perspective, I've been looking at the game, obviously trying my best to spectate, even though I'm a terrible spectator. And I think I think this is Wave, you know, doing their best to try and apply that pressure, because again, you know, if that Vox gets to those 3 items, if he gets that sort of breaking point double tyrant's monocle, he's going to be at a point where he's probably blowing the Black Feather up. I do like the fact that Cisco has picked up the Atlas Pauldron, so I think that's going to be really key against the Vox, because if he can get that Rhodes offensive in, land a good Atlas Pauldrons, then look to help finish him off. I think you know, Wave have got a composition dealt a little bit better.
He did in that last fight. He got that Atlas off on the Vox. It played a big role.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they've got a composition that is more adaptable than they had previously. Because remember, they had we're back into game actually. Remember previously we had just the double jump in. They both sort of had double dive. This time they've got the Samuel, so they can do a lot of work before that fight even starts, and then they just have Sasiska to follow up if they need to go in for the dive on that kill. So I'm going to hand it back over to you, gents. We are back into game. All the connection issues and TeamSpeak issues are sorted. And it looks like we are ready to roll.
All right, thanks. Well, Dowsy, it's kind of an interesting situation. You have dual damage output threats for Waves with the Samuel, with the Black Feather. I almost feel like, and I'm gonna like devil's advocate this as I say it, Vox maybe should be going for Black Feather, even though Black Feather is has more mobility and it's a little bit more durable than the Samuel. Just because if the Black Feather is living through these fights, we're gonna see breaking point stacks every time, like we saw last fight.
Yeah, 22. It's a little bit crazy. However, Freelo has got himself double Chronicles Tyrant. He's purchased a weapon infuse as well. This is the point where TH and Envy turned the game in our second game, Humanist. So let's see if they can do it again.
Wow, infusion in his pocket. This guy's ready to go. They can't allow this damage to come on out. Luckily, it didn't connect with this drifting dark, but they can't allow it to be poked from range and then fight shortly after it. It's gonna have to be clean for them.
Very close, Dorcas there on the force to cord. It would have been blocked away nonetheless, even if it did connect with Bong Boo. Huge cooldown out, but a great choke point to fight in. This is where Vox shines if they can get onto the backline, and they're looking for it. Here comes Shiska trying to get onto the backline. Wait for it. Gonna go out, but huge damage from that burst. Look at Dorcas getting eaten away. This has gone so wrong for TH Envy. Or has it? Freelo, he's gone onto Shiska, taking him down, but Shiska will not be unavenged. It's going to be Israel falling just about. The auto attack flew out from the Adagio in time. And once more, a team fight won by Waves. They're going to take this tier 2 turret here, Humanist, by looks of it, with the powered up minions. And unfortunately for TH Envy, it wasn't enough. That power spike.
So that choke point was very interesting. I mean, you could say that maybe wait for it's gonna hit 3. I don't know if that's worth it unless it's a guaranteed hit. Finn was very far forward, but it was easier for Waves to get work done in that choke point with the Samuel. He just throws Drifting Dark forward and follows with the Malice of Verdict. It was hitting on 3, I think, the first Malice of Verdict that hit. And then the Versa Judgment comes down right in that choke point. So there was like no option for THNNV to actually go for the aggressive engage, even though that would have been super hard for them to do if that's the call they made.
Yeah, it was exactly that.
Exactly that.
It is like, you know, it's the fight that they want is in a choke point because that's where Vox, you know, plays out. But for Waves, they also have that ability. They have the burst where they're just going to lay down damage. Malice and Verdict's going to hit and just stack up onto everyone. And of course, Shiska's going to just dive onto the backline and do lots of splash damage. For THN Envy, their strengths are also the strengths of their opponents. And with this Glaive rather than the Samuel, who's providing consistent, like without the Samuel to provide consistent damage, they're looking to blow up someone, but they just don't have a team that is capable of blowing up someone.
Yeah. And once I mentioned it earlier, I do seriously think that War Treads would have been a better item instead of the Halcyon Chargers this game for the Glaive. It for the build, if you're going this build path on the Glaive, this is a very common item choice. So it gives him a little extra mobility through these fights. He can definitely chase targets down. Gives him a little bit of energy regen. It's a pretty good item, but just they need to find a way to like slingshot this Vox into position because I Am Friolo is really their main damage source at this point.
For him to hyper carry it to victory. Dorcas looking for a pull over the wall. They're baiting I Am Friolo.
That would have been so good.
Behind them, but Waves just don't care. Actually, I Am Friolo may have dived in a little bit too far. Okay, THNMV going to force this fight here. Waves looking for the turnaround. Friolo going to take out the minion wave. A bit of extra damage onto Waves here, but Waves don't look like they care. It's a big pull in. Can Friolo get into the backline is the question. He's taking damage. There's the Burst of Judgment blocked on out. Frilo's still alive, but Shishiska going to take him on out, and this might be it all over and done with. Frilo out, what can they do? Shishiska will fall. It's good stuff. Maybe Israel can put out damage, but Bongman Boo, he's healing on up, doing so much work. There goes Dorcas. And that just leaves Glaive to try and escape out of energy. Maybe has one afterburn left in him to escape, and he does. So he will not fall just yet. Once more, it's a fight win for Waves, but not really much to be secured off the back end of it.
Yeah, another one fight for Waves. They're dominant right here. Luckily, THNV have this Scout Trap doing work for them. It's not going to get cleaned out next to the jungle shop there.
I just noticed the item that's currently sitting in I Am Frilo's pocket. It looks like he's going to be building either a Bone Saw or a Poison Ship, and I kind of feel like a Poison Ship might be the right choice here to try and prevent some of the healing that's coming out.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely on the table as a decent item choice for sure. No matter what the case, though, he's going to have to make sure he refreshes this infusion every time before he fights, which at this point in the game, when his farming ability to just go to the lane and farm or whatever has stalled out, he probably is going to stall out in finishing that item, at least for a little while here.
Yeah, certainly. As you can see, the weapon infused refreshed once more. 500 gold, a bit of an investment. So, if it is a Poison Ship, I can see that working out well. Every member of Wave has you know, healing on them, innate healing, and then they have the Adagio to also heal up. So THN kind of want to stall, but no, they're going to go for the fight here. Shishiska, he's separated, doing work onto the backline, pushes Frilo straight back, and Israel taking huge chunks of damage. Now it's just Dorcas. He's 3 stacks essentially for the team. Fountain goes out, but 5, 25 breaking point stacks on Shishiska, going to start counting down. And I think really Wave's just going to walk up to the Kraken and take that one off the map.
Yeah, that was 1137 damage that I saw on that execute out of Black Feather. So much damage right now. And every time we watch these fights, it feels like THNV, like one fight they go on the Samuel, the next fight they go on the Black Feather, and then they switch up every time. So it just feels like communication and the plan isn't really clear for this team.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe a bit of inexperience as a roster, or it's just this scenario where you've tried something and then so you try something else and nothing seems to be working.
It was also a bit of a misplay in the last fight too, when Israel 137 on this glaive went for the engage, but he afterburned his target away from the fight, and so that was like Blackfeather was just on to Iron Freelo, got an Atlas off, and things went from there. So you almost have to get a perfect afterburn as well, especially because if your advantage is disabling your opponents, then you have to disable them properly.
Well, it is a bone saw picked up here for Iron Freelo, going to just try and eat through the armor that has been built up on the wave side. This Kraken down at half HP, but the turret, there's only a couple hits left from dead. 23 minutes and a force to call, got a full 2-hit Bongman. Boo taking so much damage, but Israel misses the afterburn once more. They're looking to try and turn the fight straight onto this Adagio, and he will go down. Great stuff from TH Envy, and now trying to get onto Bongman. Boo, it's a double kill for the box, making it a triple, an ace in fact coming through. TH and Envy once more, they find a fight that is successful, take the Kraken down before the Vayne turrets go. Maybe that bone saw was all that was necessary for the
these guys are like the mouse sports of Challenger series right now. All these comebacks. Yeah, that's a huge pickup. The bone saw is a huge pickup. Also, one of the things I think had a large impact in that fight was Glaive picking up an Atlas Pauldron and getting off about halfway through that fight. It kind of shut down Sasiska right as he was really starting to ramp up. And very nice play from TH and Envy.
That's good stuff. They're going to secure a turret for themselves, get a bit of extra gold going into the bank. Now,
Dalsy, what I want to see from this team is hide in one of these forward bushes right here and just gank a target that comes out. They're going to reveal that they're hanging around by going on this Crystal Sentry right now, but I think a surprise gank really would be a nice call.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. The Quibble could have done a lot of work for them, and perhaps they walk back and try and do it. Nope. It is just going to be them exiting the jungle, purchasing up with the little bits of gold they have. Israel, I'm interested to see what his final item is going to be. He's upgraded his Swift Shooter into a blazing salvo, so it's going to be offensive somewhat.
The real upgrade. Got the blazing salvo now. Oh, they're teleporting
wow. This is huge. Kakala has just been caught out, and Dagio sustaining, but he's not going to sustain through this one. That's one kill going out. What was he doing up there?
They were all teleporting. They were all teleporting out. They didn't see it coming. Oh, no. Oh, wow. No.
48 seconds left on this Adagio, and all of a sudden TH and Envy are going to just be marching into the base and looking to try and finish this one up. These turrets are getting eaten on up here, and Waves are in a terrible position. Looks like TH and Envy going to show some mercy, not push up too far, not wanting to overstretch, but that could just lose you a game straight like that.
TH and Envy, the merciful. Wow. This team knows how to play from behind.
Right.
That's pretty clear. They are in the lead in net worth right now at about 52k. Very small net worth advantage if you look at the overall net worth that's out on the map right now, but we are smack dab in the middle of late game, approaching 26 minutes into this game, and at this point, with 2 turrets remaining for both teams, 1 lost team fight could be a game.
Well, it is going to be the teams meeting here in the tri-bush, and so Shiska looking to try and get on the back line, but he's not able to. Wait for it, flies out, burst, doesn't land on anyone. A good pull in, and that's Bongman Boo getting absolutely annihilated. Israel going to turn onto Shiska, knocks him against the wall, but the damage is going out. It's currently looking good for Waves, but can they turn it around is the question. TH and Envy looking for the damage. Freelo backing on out. He's going to leave Dorcas for dead, and Waves are going to take on this fight. Freelo's actually going around the back here, looking for a recall.
Okay.
He's going to escape. Okay, so Kraken will be taken.
What's he doing?
He's going for the base. He's
just going to shove the lane.
Okay. They don't need the wave. They've got the Kraken. I guess that's clear, but maybe he can pull the team up to their base. And stop them from, pushing with the Kraken immediately. This Kraken is going down, has been unleashed. Freelo going to clear out this wave, recall right here. I make the assumption. Yep, and he's forced the recall and a rotate from Shishiska. So that will allow for Israel to respawn before the Kraken crashes onto the base. It's good movements by Freelo just to make the lives of Waves a little bit harder.
Wow. I just like need a moment to like collect myself here. And it feels like, you know, that Waves had this game in the bag. They could push cleanly and end this game right here, right now. But if THN Envy come out on top of this fight and reverse this push and end the game, I am not going to be surprised at all.
This is it. This is what we're waiting for. This is the ultimatum of this game, this series, and this Kraken is going down. There it is, once more, a pull in, and they're looking for Bongman Boo. The wait for it goes out, they're doing the damage. Freelo, he's right on the back line doing the deeps, and he's gonna turn it around. There's the kills going forward. It's a double for Freelo, looking for his triple. He's not gonna find it. It's so hard to get onto Shishiska, and this Kraken is just doing damage. Shishiska goes down, a triple kill. They're base racing. No way. Okay, Freelo is going to recalling Freelo to take down the Kraken. Wow. They all recall here. All show the respect. 40 seconds on these recalls, 30 seconds on these recalls. The Vein Crystal turrets go down. And now
I think they
the
could
race
have ended it. But...
I think they could have. Perhaps just send Freelo back to deal with the Kraken. Even Israel, who has the Storm Crown, would have done damage against it. THN Envy aren't even going for the win here. It's not the ultimatum. It's another question.
It's so many questions. So much excitement. I can't handle this right now. This is my favorite, man. I love the games that are just on a knife's edge. It could go either way with one misplay, one outplay in a team fight. Now, this was a very low scoring game as we look at the kills overall, but it was just back and forth. It's about as even as it gets, really.
And that team fight was so decisive. THN Envy won it without losing a member. If you're Waves at this stage, you're worried a little bit because of how clean it was, and now the fight's going to go out again. So everyone's silent. Israel knocks them back into the wall. Freelo's going untouched. Oblivion's there, but it gets blocked up, and the damage is going down for this Vox. He's not able to find a kill. They've separated. This could be disastrous for the Vox. He needs to get back into the fight before Dorcas goes down. Polite Company giving him fortified health, but it's not enough. Once more, Freelo running. Israel dives on forward. He blows up the Adagio, but he'll lose his life as an answer. And Freelo is going to be able to get the recall back to base once more.
Wow.
30 minutes this game.
I'm not sure if they knew the stress that my heart had to deal with, that I could actually get health insurance coverage here.
Waves is just going to go for the finish here. They've got the Vein Crystal exposed. All they need to do is take down Freelo, and they're diving onto him. Shishiska looking for the kill here, but Freelo's damage is there. This Vein Crystal is going down, and it looks like it might just be it. It is going to be it. Waves, they have done it here. Humanist, the love affair that was Waves and THN Envy has been finished, and Waves will be progressing further into the winner's bracket. THN Envy knocked down to the losers.
Congratulations to Waves. I'm excited to see them moving forward. At the same time, I also want to say to the losers bracket, get ready.
Right?
If you got to face THN Envy right now, I think you got to be playing your A game. This team looks strong.
Well, gentlemen, that was certainly a series. What an incredible set of performances from both Waves and THN Envy. That was... We talked about yesterday the shortest games in the VGL Challenger Series. That was one of the longest games that we've had on stream in the VGL Challenger Series. That was 30 minutes and 20 seconds or thereabouts. Really long game. And, you know, they transitioned from that Vox and the Glaive. They brought the Crystal Power Glaive out, which we have seen from time to time in sort of high-level play. Finishes up with that alternating current. Once he hit that alternating current off the back of the Storm Crown and the Aftershock, really started to do some work in these team fights. Was much more of a damage threat than he was previously. But team fights back and forth, I don't even know what happened there. I genuinely don't even know what happened towards some of these things. It looked like THN Envy found their way back into the game. It looked like they had everything under control. But just when you said that, Samuel comes through, starts controlling the team fights, hitting the Malice and Verdicts with the Frostburn over again, and somehow keeping the pace of these team fights in favour of Waves. But my word, they had to work for that. They really had to work for a series that, admittedly, they were supposed to be the favourites for.
There's two things I want to make note of. One was that last team fight. Humanist said that it looked like TH and Envy may have had a bit of miscommunication throughout their fights, and that last team fight was all over the place. You saw Israel disengage the fight after burning over the wall towards the Trient camp, and at that point, Thriller was forced out of the fight. It basically left Dorcas for dust. The second point I want to raise is that, I do think there was a chance there for TH and Envy to actually finish the game. When they aced and took the Kraken down, they could have split their resources, pushed up the lane. There was so much time on the clock to go try and do that. And it was kind of just that chance that was missed for the team. But, these guys played well. They are in the losers bracket, and beware losers bracket teams. These guys are bringing their A game.
I mean, that was definitely an insane game. I mean, like you said, that would have been a really difficult comeback for them to make had they sort of pushed in with the Kraken. That would have been a really tense race against time. They might have been able to do it, especially with the Vox and the double turrets, Monocle Bonesaw, and the alternating current on the Glaive. I'm certain that they might have been able to do it, but they didn't take that risk. They didn't manage to work it out, and unfortunately, that wasn't in their favour. I believe we're actually going to a losers bracket game next, so it's just incorrectly labelled on stream. It's actually a losers bracket game that we've got coming up in the break. So we're going to go to a 5-minute break. We'll be back at 9:20 CET and ready to take on the game between Robocop ITA and Element Ice. Stick around, we'll be back very soon. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to run into this next game between Robocop ITA and Element Ice. Now, all players are in the loser bracket round 2, so this is do or die right now. So this is the first do or die game we have had on stream so far. And it does mean that if the team loses, they are out of the competition. Now, both teams are full of excellent players. Everybody vainglorious, I am told. So we're expecting a high-quality game between these two in the loser bracket round 2. And, you know, this is going to be sort of really the teams putting in their best efforts too. I mean, we're kind of getting to this knockout stages of the game now, which is really good because we get to see sort of high-level gameplay where everything matters for the players, everything's on the line. And I'm very much looking forward to getting to draft. Now, before we do have to tell you about a giveaway that we have going on. Actually, no I don't, because we're into draft. I'll tell you about the giveaway later, ladies and gentlemen. We are into the draft phase now between Robocop ITA and Element Ice, and that means Dalcy and Humanist will be joining me once more, ready to take you through this game. Had a nice break, gentlemen?
It was a much needed cooldown from what was a emotional fair of our last 2 games. And now, like you said, this is the first knockout game.
It is indeed, and we are just going through the draft phase. Adagio locked in. It's going to be Finn banned here by Element Ice. And it's going to be the Black Feather and the Fortress locked in response. Fortress very early on here, Dalcy. What do you make of that? Or rather, Humanist, what do you make of that?
Fortress, I'm hyped on it. I was in the background trying to pull up the matchup so I can get these team names up in front of me and remember them over and over. It's hard to put those into your short-term memory constantly. But the Fortress with the Black Feather, this is going to run at you, and it's very interesting. I think it'll lead to pretty substantial clashes between these teams because you're going to meet Adagio, who is not mobile and oftentimes is forced to and doesn't mind standing his ground.
Naturally, look at this, Dalcy. I know I talked about Ozo for Humanist. Dalcy, the Idris has been locked in. I know you're a big fan of Idris, my friend. Basically an Idris one-trick. So Idris and Koshka going to be put in together, and it's probably going to be that weapon power Idris, generally considered more powerful, despite what Dalcy may think. A weapon power Idris generally considered more powerful. I'm joking.
I think that as well. What do you want to
I'm joking.
Idris?
I'm joking. I mean, we have a joke in our guild about Dalcy and his crystal power Idris play. So
essentially, okay. So before we go into this game, I want to redeem myself. Crystal power Idris is a hero that you can pick into certain compositions and when necessary. But I would play weapon power every time if I had the choice.
Yeah, right, Dalcy. We know you're a crystal power Idris closet.
Okay. Stop.
Who isn't though, right?
Okay, I think we've derailed, so I'm going to kick a scoundrel off
I'm
the
gone.
broadcast for
See
now,
you, boys.
so that me and
Exiled.
Humanist can get into this one. Exiled, fired, Tomic, do your work, because it is this losers bracket game between Robocop ITA and Element Ice. The loser of this series, Humanist, are out. This is everything on the line for both these teams.
Wow, losers of the losers bracket, harsh. We'll see. You don't want to be that guy. I can tell you that much. I've been there.
Yeah, no, it's when things start to really, become hard, and we've got really interesting team compositions. We kind of got a little bit lost in our champion shaming, but it is going to be Idris, Koshka, Adagio into Black Feather Fortress Rhyme. What do you make of that?
I really like this comp. Not to say
Which comp?
Immediately. What?
Both comps? This comp? Which one?
Oh, I thought I was kind of. I saw some chat happening in the background, and at the end of it, I heard the Rhyme Black Feather Fortress.
Okay.
So I thought we were just talking about this composition, but
composition.
that's the weirdest composition to me. Yep. Something you wouldn't see together all the time. Fortress with the Rhyme is actually interesting as well because Rhyme likes to stay up in melee range, and a little extra move speed can help a lot.
Yeah, look at this. Aggressive plays coming out of Robocop as they're looking to try and get the first blood. And they are going to secure it. The question is, can they escape? Turek doing his best to get out. He does a lot of damage onto Mang. In fact, they're just going to turn it. It's a double kill coming through for their team, looking for an early. The 3 kills won't quite be the ace, but a double for this Idris. Oh,
see,
heart.
I just forfeit at this point.
Really? Wow.
I just hit that surrender button. Go next game.
Oh, that is a crazy start for Robocop ITA.
Yeah, these guys are in control. They got the region right now. How are we pronouncing the Blackfeather's name?
How are we pronouncing all the names is the question. They're all very,
Well, let's start there.
very... Okay, so we got Hiranez is what I've gone with. Mangtsu? I don't know.
Mangsu.
Tesla
Heroin.
Freeze. Thank you, Tesla Free, for providing an easy... And Paul George as well. Appreciate that. Okay.
Please do at any moment. Like, feel free to just jump in.
So my opinion would be Heroinas, Mangetsu, and Tesla Free. There you go.
Heroin is. Okay.
Okay, cool. It doesn't really help us on the other side. It's Gabriel, Luigi, Paul George, and Turek, I guess. So not too bad. As soon as I worked out that was Gabriel, Luigi, it made it much easier.
And this guy, their team name is Element Team Ice, and their tag is Bob. Who does this? Oh my gosh.
So, 3 minutes in, 3 kills down. A really great start for Robocop here. Doesn't mean things are all over, but I do feel like this composition that Element Ice have drafted here, Humanist, possibly wants to stay in the lead.
Oh, for sure. I think the ideal fight, you're going to see them go at Adagio for, and then move on to other targets from there. But what they drafted, and we said it during the draft period, it's to run at you. It's to kill one target and do that very quickly. And so essentially, I think Blackfeather, he needs to just farm, get into the late game. Rhyme will be strong the majority of the entire game right now. So Rhyme, rotate with Fortress, try to find Adagio, and just don't allow yourself to get out-rotated like they did in that first clash.
Yeah, certainly. It's that ability to dictate the fights on your turf, and as soon as Tesla Free gets into position, that's when things start to happen. Currently just posturing, looking for an engage here, but there's so much disengageability realistically on Robocop. Gabriel Luigi can just jump away. Paul George has the ability to heal and slow his opposition, and all, as we're saying this, Turek is just farming his way away, the kitty cat in front of the jungle.
Yeah, doing really good right there. Aftershock completed at 4 minutes, no boots, so this Koshka can burst down anybody. She can actually go toe-to-toe with the Rhyme right now, which is pretty hard to do.
Gabriel Luigi has 2,700 gold sitting in his kitty bank. Oh, a bit of a missed position. Turek does get taken down, so that will be a pickup for Element Ice, a much needed one, but just wait, 3,000 gold on this Idris. He can purchase whatever he wants, most likely a Sorrow Blade. That's going to unlock his Divergent Paths really early on as well. It's going to be a huge power spike, and Element Ice have to be ready for it.
So, I mean, personally, I played against Idris, a few times now, but I never really spammed about since he was released. I played him to learn his skill set a bunch, but it sounds like you put some time into him. What would you say is like your clear power spikes, especially for this build?
Sorrow Blade and Divergent Paths unlock is a huge one, but it's harder when you're in the lane. When you're in the jungle, it's kind of like Samuel in the jungle. You do your stuff, you go around, and then all of a sudden you jump into lane with a huge power that gets thrown at your enemies. When you're in the lane, you don't quite have that, and it's quite hard to see it. But we are going to see an engage here, and there's going to be the Koshka going deep. But oh my gosh, they've turned it right around. That's the power of the Fortress Rhyme right there.
Yeah. I mean, Rhyme was able to get on top of them thanks to a little bit of buff coming out there. And he rooted them in place. Once they were rooted in place, they were essentially dead. It was pretty nice plays. I wonder if they get anything out of this map, though.
No, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to, but I feel like that was just such a big mistake from Gabriel Luigi, who didn't go back and purchase with the massive amounts of gold he had in his bank. Now has that Sorrow Blade and boots as well. Can you just imagine the damage they would have had, the more safety he would have had as well, with the Divergent Paths making his Shroud Step a blink rather than a roll. I don't know. If you have that much gold, you need to spend it.
There's pretty significant advantage going the way of Herwinez right now. 56 to last hits to the 41 of Gabriel Luigi currently. It's pretty large advantage.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's going to play into the power of Element Ice, really. If they can continue the pressure up, The massive issue that Robocop has is that they want to all-in engage onto this team, but that's where, you know, Black Feather and Rhyme really start to come into their own, and even Fortress as well.
Rhyme has that ultimate available now.
To see if Valkyrie does come from above, a lot of damage being traded back and forth. Gabriel Luigi not quite able to do enough. Really, they want to poke up as much as possible with the Chakrams and the Agent Graphs from Paul George, and look for a full-on, you know, engage with the Yami Catnip Frenzy. Currently, Element Ice taking the punches. We'll have to see when they start throwing them back, because currently they have that power straight onto Gabriel Luigi. A nice route comes through, but nothing more.
Yeah, I mean, that's how they're looking to engage. Element Ice is all about all three of you moving onto one target at once and trying to get your burst damage down. Gabriel Luigi just did a good job to get into a safe position before they could root him.
So, slow play, but it's 3-3 currently on the scoreboard right now, and actually make that more, and it is going to be Manchusu falling down. I butchered the name, my bad. As the power of Koshka coming on in. Without the Rhyme, the threat is kind of not there for Element Ice, and so Robocop going to try and take those opportunities where possible.
Yeah, and this is actually a very defensive Rhyme build with a sustain like this. Yeah. Sometimes you're going to see, like, if he's looking to just invade the jungle, he knows he's trading back and forth to build that up. Or if you're just really trying to go into the late game, which it's pretty interesting. Black Feather obviously is going to scale into the late game, but you don't necessarily think of Fortress always going into the late game super hard.
No, I'm finding this game hard to call. You know, for Robocop, their win spike, the win conditions aren't super clear to me based on the composition Element Ice have drafted. It's kind of like find someone, you know, by themselves and hope you can pick them up and then push that to a 3v2.
What I would like to see is I would actually like to see the Rhyme Fortress rotate from the bottom, clear the scout trap out in the left tri-bush, and rotate up from the bottom side. That's where Adagio's been lurking the majority of the time. And if they can move up from that angle, there's almost no way that Adagio gets away.
Sure. No, and that's the thing. I feel like as this game stretches on, Element Ice's, you know, chances and advantages and abilities to take fights, win fights, just get more and more based on you know, the double melee position drafted. Makes things super hard for Robocop realistically. But it is a bit of a brawl. They have found the Rhyme trying to do the damage. He's healing through it though. And there's the Valkyrie going out. Wow, they're turning it. And Tesla Free is just going to walk away from it all. Never mind. He gets stepped inside of, but will be Gabriel Luigi falling nonetheless. Now, I kind of pronounce that name.
Mangetsu?
Mangetsu is going to help Hirunes get onto the back line. And Ace comes through here. And that's what I'm talking about. Element Ice. They just have this composition that realistically, no matter how Robocop approach the fights, they're just going to lose them.
I love it.
It's just a hard counter to Idris and Koshka. You know, they need to find a fight where they either catch Rhyme by himself or catch, you know, Black Feather by themselves. Otherwise, you can't win a full 3v3. You shouldn't win a full v3.
Yeah, if they do, I feel like it's going to be on the back of Idris getting some breaking point stacks up, potentially, before they go in for the fight. If he can go in stacked up, then he can take out one of these targets a little bit quicker.
Even so, it's very hard for him to get in there, to start stacking up without just losing his life. But they are trying their best to lay down the damage. Chakram's going out, a couple of attacks as well. It doesn't seem to be doing much, to be honest. And we are going to see the Koshka come from the side, but it feels like Robocop, they just have to play whatever game Element Ice throws at them.
Yeah, Element Ice definitely setting the tempo of this game right now. But that's exactly what they need to do. If you have the Fortress, you should be dictating the pace of the game. So that's a success there.
Yes, certainly is. Well, it is going to be dive on in turret looking for some damage. These on points just continuously eating away. Basically, the answer to the Chakram hit. Some good damage coming out. Valkyrie onto Gabriel Luigi. Burst of Judgment is going to lock up this Black Feather. Now they're looking for Tesla free, but they've already got 1 kill. Gabriel Luigi falls down. That's 2 kills going on over. Just poor George left for this Element Ice team to take, and it will be Tesla free finding his double, finding the ace for the team. Once more, a very clean fight. And now they get buffed up. Minions are going to take the turret. They could go for 2 realistically.
So things have there's so much tougher of a problem to solve now. If you're Robocop, because you have Atlas on the Fortress, you have Atlas on the Rhyme, and Heroinist can build his own if needed. But right now, he's incredibly durable. So it's I just don't know like how they're actually gonna get enough damage out, and to do so, they have to put themselves within range to get engaged on.
Yeah, and as soon as they do that, that's where Rhyme shines, where Blackbird shines.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it just makes things hard. A bit of a bait into the bush, a bit of damage goes out. This could be a chance for Robocop to find a fight, but they're not going to be able to. Element Ice just disengage perfectly. Once more, the advantage goes their way. It's a 3,000, 4,000 gold lead for Element Ice. They've got themselves a turret. They've taken one of the lives of the Crystal Sentry. And unless some miracle happens, this game is just going to continue falling, spiraling down the hill.
Like a level 2 miracle. It's like
Right.
beyond an actual sanctioned miracle needs to happen here.
I love it.
Okay, so Atlas is available on Idris now. If he can get that off onto Black Feather, and Koshka can focus the same target, maybe they do okay.
Happens to going on to Gabriel Luigi. Does Shimmer step inside? Now just walk away. It's attempts from Robocop to try and find fights, but look at the HP pass of Element Ice. It's nothing's happening. We can just take this Crystal Miner, Gold Miner even, and you know, games where you win in draft don't happen very often. A lot of people like to believe they do, but realistically they don't. This is just one of those very rare examples where one team gets completely outdrafted, and now we're seeing the results of that. Inability to lay down damage. Every time damage gets chucked out by Robocop, the same amount, if not more, gets chucked out by Element Ice, and
But like,
Help
if
us.
if RoboCop were able to ever cause Element Team Ice to scatter and run away, they'd have a pretty strong advantage. They'd actually do really well if they could cause them to split up. But so I just think it's kind of credit to the I mean, they drafted, but they're also playing the composition very well.
Sure.
Element Team Ice. So because like every time, the only reason it's a problem that you're within range to get engaged on is because they're actually engaging on you, and properly and as a team. If it was like if Fortress would jump in, but Ryan didn't quite notice half a second behind them, then they don't chain things together. It feels really weak. But when they, it shows the level of synergy on this team, I think, right now.
Certainly does. Kraken is being taken very low now. A chance for a steal. Can they take it away? No, they cannot. It will be secured by Element Ice. Now the fight is going to go out. Everyone is low. A chance for Robocop maybe to clean up here. The Rhyme and Black Feather still alive to do work, and they are going to start trading on to Gabriel Luigi. Double kill comes through. Can it be a triple for Hirunes? They chase poor George into their jungle. Looks like it will be the triple going through for this Black Feather. And now the Kraken to march it down the lane. This is where we start to shred the hopes of Robocop ITA in this first game. But it is a best of 3 series. It's not over yet. I guess there is a chance for a throw, but realistically, Robocop ITA, they need to be reconsidering their drafting for the next game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is just one of those games where the Rome Adagio doesn't do too much. Maybe if they had something that with a disable with the 2 that they've drafted up here, it's really hard to have an impact.
Gonna see this Anchor turret very low for just a second. Valkyrie goes out, Turek going to try and engage onto his the Rhyme, and they're able to take him down. This is a huge hiccup for Robocop ITA, but they do lose their Koshka in the process. Now this Kraken is going to start doing a lot of damage. The Fortress Black Feather, a very dangerous combo. Gabriel Luigi trying to do his best. He is actually doing a lot of damage here, and it's going unanswered. Poison Shiv stopping the healing coming through. And actually, they're looking like they are going to clean up the fight, but the Kraken is still a problem. There it is. Gabriel Luigi finds a double kill. Good stuff! That's a nice confidence booster. They're going to stop this Kraken from taking their base. In fact, they're going to keep this crystal turret alive. Huge little win for them.
Yeah, definitely was. I'm very surprised Gabriel Luigi was able to take the win in that 2 versus 1 right there at the end, especially because they had an Atlas Pauldron the moment the fight started against him, and then they threw the second one on him with Blackfeather halfway through it. So.
This is the great thing about Idris. When you hit that 3-point item spike, he's opted in for a Poison Shiv as well, which I often do in my builds as well against anyone who likes to purchase Serpent's Mask or, you know, Ozos, for example, because your auto-attacking at that stage does a lot of damage anyway. The breaking point stacks allow you to really do work, and once you've hit them enough times, the healing that goes out is kind of what Idris struggles against, anyone who can self-sustain. He definitely struggles during the early game, but in the late game can do a lot more damage. So, like, watching that fight, in my eyes, I always knew Gabriel Luigi was going to come out on top, but it's not good for long. Like, now they're going for another fight. Perhaps they're able to do the damage. They can dodge out the spells they can, but Valkyrie hits 2, and that's a disastrous conclusion for Robocop ITA. They lose Gabriel Luigi. Now the team is split, as Turek doing his best to get out of the fight. Not going to happen. Poor George falls, and that kitty cat is neutered. Ace comes through, and it is going to be the push down the lane now for the first game secure here. Humanist, and nothing really more to say. Great drafting, great play coming out of Element Ice. Completely countered what Robocop ITA were trying to do there.
Yeah. And it's a tough way to lose the game too on a fight like that. You're trying to take the first turret, and it just gets reversed on you. So going back into game 2, definitely need to rethink their drafting strategy, and just be a little more careful. They actually, I mean, let's go back to the first couple minutes of this game. I jokingly said GG at 3 minutes, or no, 1 minute, because they got the first 3 kills of the game. Koshka had a 4-minute naked aftershock, and I was like, oh, dude, she's gonna go do some work right now. But she face checked a bush into Rhyme and died. So if they can take an early advantage next game and hold on to it, and if they can draft a little better, I think maybe they can take game 2.
Well, that was a great game, and I think Dalsey's right. I really like the way compositionally that the Element Ice team brought this to the table. I definitely think that they knew what they were doing. They picked that Rhyme. They had a really solid last Rhyme pick into the Koshka and the Idris. They knew the Idris is going to be weapon power. And one thing I wanted to point out, guys, is why Idris did 3rd item Poison Shiv instead of 2nd item Poison Shiv. Because I feel like 2nd item Poison Shiv on the Idris against a Rhyme with an Eve of Harvest, who's going to go first. You saw how much healing he got. In fact, there was one fight around the jungle shop where Rhyme survived for so long, and had there been a Poison Shiv instead of a breaking point, you might have actually been able to kill Rhyme in that situation. And the fact you also had the healing coming out from... completely forgotten the other hero now. Oh, the Serpent's Mask on the Blackfeather. I don't know why Poison Shiv was not a 2nd item. It kind of does a similar job to Breaking Point, but probably has a more immediate impact, and also reduces the healing coming out from the Rhyme and Blackfeather. And when it's your goal to blow up the Rhyme very early on, I feel like Poison Shiv would have just been way better, guys.
It's definitely one way to look at it. I think you're not wrong. Poison Shiv is an item that's kind of had a lot of memes around it recently. It did get a buff this last patch because it doesn't provide much damage output. It's more of a utility item.
But when you have a Koshka and your utility is to you want to reduce the healing that the Rhyme is having, I don't know. This is just my personal opinion. I understand that you know, people will make decisions that are different to me. But I probably would have gone for second item after the Sorrow Blade, after I got my Divergent Pass, gone for the second item Poison Shiv, I don't know. But we're into the second draft now, and Lyra has been locked in. Looks like it's going to be followed up with a Lance. I'm just waiting to see what the final lock-in here for RoboCop ITA is.
They banned the Black Feather here as well, so...
Yeah, and that makes sense because they're going to go for the Ringo, so, you know, Ringo does struggle with Black Feather, you know, at points in the game.
Well, Ringo definitely strong right now, although he was adjusted a little bit in the last update. He has to be a little more careful about his energy usage and when he's using his abilities, but definitely still very strong laner. Baron comes out. This is the second time we've seen Baron today. I think second.
Yes.
I'm excited for this. Although Baron might struggle against the Taka.
Yeah, I like the Tucker here from Turek. Got a buff. It's actually quite a substantial buff for Tucker in this patch, and it's going to provide a lot of ability to just blow someone up, which is kind of what RoboCop needed in the previous game.
Well, we are about to head on to the Halcyon Fold, which could mean it's the last game of the day between these two teams. RoboCop need to bring this back to make it a series. Remember, we have seen 3-game series. Of every series so far, they could be the one to break the trend, because this could be Element Ice taking this away. Gentlemen, it is time for you to take over onto the Halcyon Fold. Humanist and Dalsy, maybe for the final time tonight. I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you very much. It is game 2 here of this loser bracket series between RoboCop ITA and Element Ice. As we saw, Element Ice a very dominating win in the first game of this series. Now for a chance. I really like this draft coming out of RoboCop ITA. Has a lot of potential here. As you were saying, the Baron may struggle a lot against the Tiger.
Yeah, I mean, Baron eventually you hit the late game and he can be incredibly mobile. He fights from range, but if you can close the gap on him and provide some burst damage, which that's essentially what Taka does in stage, then you have a very good chance of taking him down.
Yeah, certainly. I kind of feel like Taka, I don't know, this is my personal opinion, and it's probably wrong. You know, feel free to tell me wrong, but I kind of feel like Taka...
Get your flame torches ready, chat.
Yeah. I kind of feel like Taka can provide a better Koshka than Koshka can. You know, of course doesn't have the CC element of the Yummy Catnip Frenzy, but, you know, Koshka's an all-in burst hero, right? He has Taka as
yes and no.
Right.
I do also feel like a good Taka can play around his cooldowns and be in and out of fights. Like, you know how, like, up in a lane, a lot of times when a team has a Lyra, they always have the advantage in the lane because they're going to trade and then they're going to heal back up and come back into the fight. Taka's going to be able to get some damage off, walk out, pop into his invis, get some regen, come back in, and continue fighting. Well, that's how I like to see it.
Yeah, I agree as well. I'm assuming Turek's going to go down the crystal power route. You know, just build the weapon power at the start. We often see Tuckers do for the better clear, better level 1. But what I want to see is a lot of pressure onto Hironez in the lane. Try and, you know, push this Baron out of lane as much as possible to stop the scaling from happening.
I bet you this is a game, like legit, this is a game where you could, I mean, are ready to flame me too. I bet this is a game where you could go CP for RoboCop and get away with it. I think it'd be pretty decent.
Ringo?
Yeah, CP Ringo, CP Taka, and you just focus the Baron down. There's no way he could avoid the damage coming out.
Yeah, I understand the logic. As you build a Echo on Gabriel Luigi, get 2 Hellfire Brews onto the Baron, and you know he's gonna be out of the fight, right?
So like, you get to late game, and granted they're probably gonna stack shield if they went that route, but if Taka X Retsu'd in, comboed you up, and even if he doesn't commit to it, you'll be down to half health. So that guarantees like you have to block Hellfire Brew. If you're not blocking that, you're probably dying right there. And just off of 2 abilities, that's insane damage output. But it looks like they're gonna go a little more balanced here.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna point out. You know, it's I love Fear crafting, but as it turns out, we have to commentate the game, and it is.
No, you don't have to. I mean,
oh, we don't.
Yeah.
Through you, Tomek, we're taking control.
We're in control.
Wow, first blood goes over, and it is going to be traded back, but 2 kills come through for Element Ice. I was going to sing that instead of commentate that, but then I realized that I was too late, and my vocal cords haven't quite been
I wasn't sure of what was going to happen right there. It's okay. There's a lot of farm being missed up in the lane, though. This is slightly disastrous.
It is. And you can see Turek's doing his best to, I guess, claim it, make sure it doesn't go to waste, and push this Baron out so that he can't get too much of a lead. But it is a lead, nonetheless, for Hieronymus in the lane. A 10 CS lead at 4 minutes is a lot.
Yeah, they're putting them together. I was curious. It felt like Ringo was kind of hanging out a little bit longer than normal. So he was moving out from the base, but he's back. He's doing okay. Stormcrown's been picked up for the Taka, so his jungle clear is very insane. He's also in a pretty good place right now where a little cooldown reduction. He's doing pretty good. We'll see. Probably goes into that Aftershock next item.
No, I'd expect the same as well. And really, Robocop not quite able to find any early leads as Tesla face free just comes straight on through.
Wow.
Blows up that Ringo. Here comes Turek to try and find a kill. Impale does miss out, so it does make things hard. But they are able to find Gabriel Luigi and get out alive is the key thing. Tesla free, out of energy, so no more glimmer shots to come from that Kestrel. And maybe Turek tries to abuse that fact. Look for a little bit more damage.
He legit might. He's trying to keep his stacks up right now. On the it was one of the things that was buffed. His key stacks in this patch, I think they last another second before they time out. And then I've noticed it's pretty impactful in the game right now.
No, I feel like it's a huge buff for Tucker. Power as well, and especially for those wanting to go down a CP Tucker route as well.
Well, he clears so fast in that jungle. He'll be right back up into the lane. Now, Ringo wasn't in lane when he was there last time. If he can rotate up into the lane, get an X-Ratsu off onto the Baron at the same time, like an Achilles shot, maybe an attack or two can come out of Ringo. That's a lot of damage.
It is, yeah, and they really need to do that, Robocop. Currently, they're falling victim to the map movements of Element Ice. You know, Gabriel Luigi hasn't really had a fun time so far in this lane. Seeker is gonna jump forward. That's a mistake because he's gonna get knocked right on back. But here comes the Kestrel to try and clean this one up. Gabriel Luigi boots on out. Where's Taka? Turek not quite.
Where's my Taka.com?
Right. This was a prime opportunity. Maybe it's not fast, but that is going to be the glimmer shots finding the target. Gabriel Luigi falls Turek in a bad position as he's going to struggle to escape from this one. One more glimmer shot doesn't quite connect, and Turek will walk away. Oh, like Robocop, we had a great opportunity to turn that fight.
Like sometimes it's worth it to get your items into the shop, but in that moment, if they could go back in time, it's night and day if Taka was there.
Right, and it was so clear that they wanted to fight. You know, Turek does end up falling to lane, but he's not really going to be able to find a kill. Like that was an engage from Robocop that started that fight, so it should have been communicated. Hey, Turek, we're fighting. Get in here because we're the ones trying to be proactive here.
And just now, as Turk goes down, he just engaged into that, which is a dicey situation. Maybe you get out, don't. But Gabriel Luigi was like, what, 1,000 units behind? Like he was almost. If you wait one more second, your Ringo is there with you. This is like chain dying, and it's something that teams do a lot of times when they start to tilt. I don't know why this team would be tilted right now, but that's kind of behavior you see.
Well, it's an important match. Let us not forget that the loser of this game is eliminated from the VGL.
It's true.
So,
yeah.
A lot of pressure on both these teams to just stay in the fight, stay in the game, try and push towards those challenge battles.
Turk moving up into the lane. He's getting in position here. This is the first time they've been as one unit.
Maybe they can make that work. Flare goes out, so they know that Taka is in position. So good movements from Element Ice to just push up into that banana bush and force the Tucker back. And once more, they have control of this lane. Gabriel Luigi taking huge damage from the Glimmer shots. Poor George just not really able to do much. Maybe Turret comes in and does some work, but Ringo doesn't have much energy, means that he won't be able to Whirling Silver into the fight do much damage. Turret is kind of just left on his own to go in and take damage and try and disengage.
Yeah, he's doing his best, but right now Ringo's in no position to fight, and Ringo is essentially just trying to last hit between all of this chaos right now. Baron's having a great game. I think we mentioned a lot of things, but we haven't mentioned the fact that Baron is on point to being a late game monster. They have ways to shut him down in Ringo and the Taka, but he's farming incredibly well.
Tesla Free just going to walk straight into the fight here, and Turek is going to struggle to get away from this one. Goes in Viz, have the flare to reveal him. How can Turek escape? Poor George is safe, we know that much, but Turek not so much. Has his cooldowns coming back up, grabs the treant, that's a bit of extra help, now he's stealthed. Gets Silence hand on up, and that will be him finally falling. Felt like playing the Mission Impossible tune. Kind of felt like he may have had a route out.
He grabs a parachute and jumps off the edge of the map.
So long. Oh wow, the damage coming out. Gabriel Luigi is just so far behind. It's almost a 20 CS lead for Hirina's Baron, who's meant to have late game power, and he is just trashing on Gabriel Luigi right now. You know, really, because of Tesla Free's ganks, because of the constant pressure that's been put on Gabriel Luigi, he's just not able to do anything. This turret goes down and a Glimmer shot from downtown finds the kill. 7-2. Robocopper falling to pieces.
So one of the things that makes Ringo a really good carry right now and historically is that, you know, he has really good range, and he can dish out massive damage. He has high attack speed. But the thing is, if we're looking at this matchup where the early game is when Ringo will have that range advantage against Baron. Baron's unique because he's going to get more and more range as he's able to level up that ultimate. Then Ringo can't take advantage of it right now when he's the guy that has a longer range. It's a real big problem. And we're going to see, as soon as the Baron starts to put his second and third point into that ultimate, it's going to get really, really tough for this Ringo.
Yeah, certainly will be. There's not many options for Robocop. They need to try and get this Ringo online, get this Tucker online and blow someone up, but every time they try to push up the lane, Tesla Free returns fire on this Kestrel and just sets the Halcyon Pole alight. Currently Turret taking a beating as well. 19 seconds on that one shot, so we won't see it coming out.
I think this is kind of like where, and I didn't articulate it very well, but also in the beginning when I was thinking if they went double CP this game, that allows Ringo to constantly fight from range a little bit more, and he can abuse the early advantage that he had from Baron, and then transitioning into the league game would have been able to have more impact from range. Not to say, you know, I'm not going to go back on it too much, but I think that's where the process is at too. Sure,
because currently Gabriel has just struggled against Tesla Free, but if he can just get right up close with the active camo and lay down the fury of Glimmer shots. 12 minutes, 7-2, a 5,000 gold lead here, and Robocop on their last leg, realistically. 0-1, they're down in this series, and a win will knock them out of this competition. Things are starting to become desperate for the team.
Yeah, it's definitely going to require some mental toughness here.
Good Impale, that's a good start. Maybe they can translate this into a fight. The Hellfire Brew going to come on out and straight on to Tesla Free. He's burning, but the fountain's keeping him alive, and it's all on this Baron. Gonna find one, jump jets forward, not in range for Paul George, but he's running, and there's the shot. A double kill comes through. Now it's a Turret on the run from this Kestrel, stealthing on up, is going to just lay down the Glimmer shot, Glimmer shot, Glimmer shot. A bit more than they could shoot. Good turnaround, Turret finds one, but the stealth gets revealed. The flare's there. Oh, Sentry doing work, but the work is 9-5, and it's not much you can do more. Hirin is actually a little bit close, but is the treant secured. A bit of healing as well. 10-3, and another fight won for the Element Ice team.
You remember the matches earlier we had another weapon baron, and it looks questionable where he'd like jump forward and put himself in these weird positions. But the reason that guy was doing it is the same reason that you're seeing Heroines do it this game. He just jumps forward. He's like two-shotting any other weapon carry. Like oftentimes I think when Ringo's banned out, Vox can take the Baron. It's like your best choice for these reasons. Like he will 2- and 3-shot these heroes as the game goes on.
Yeah, certainly. But you need to wait for the power spikes, right? You can't be doing it until you hit a moment of power, and that was the issue that we were seeing in that series.
Moment of power. This is a team name. That's how you name teams, fam. I want to see it in the next Challenger series.
See, this one goes Turek. He's going to dive forward, but look at Heroines. Dives forward. Where did Gabriel Luigi go? Straight down the scope of Tesla Free is the answer. 900 points for anyone who guessed that one. Now it is going to be this tier 2 turret falling to pieces. 409! 409! Every time Heroines attacks it, it just gets annihilated. And it's looking donezo for Robocop.
Wow. So they're going to be able to clean up Gold Miner as well, right before Kraken spawns.
Great time.
Yeah, these guys are in a great place right now.
It's one team fight. One more team fight is what I'm calling Robocop. The Kraken will be taken and then pushed on in to the base, where Robocop will attempt to defend, but go off on. It will not be a reality for Robocop.
All right. Well, this is going to be a tough engagement for them to make. I think key to success here for Robocop is going to be Taka onto Baron before Baron hits any member for Robocop's team, because he's going to start just stacking Breaking Point like a monster. You got to get Taka onto the Baron first, and you need to have Ringo in position to get some attacks off. If they can do those couple things, maybe they stand a chance there.
So we certainly hoping for that chance here, Humanist, as the fight for Kraken control is now. Both teams trying to lay down their vision, get a bit of an edge on each other. Here comes out a Hellfire's Brew straight onto Heroines. Doesn't get blocked, so a bit of early poke, not the worst thing. Will get healed up nonetheless. Now, one shot goes wide, Paul George dives forward, Paul George will just get destroyed. Now this is it, Turek next kill, it's a double, look for the triple, and he dives forward, there it is. Aaron is a monster, and now the Kraken to be secured. It's getting closer and closer to the end of the line for Robocop.
Yeah, I mean, they tried really hard. You saw they were trying so hard to try and get in there and get a decent position off, but we got to give credit over to Mengetsu, I think, also on this one. Look at this guy. He's got a contraption. He was also carrying like a full stack of flares at the beginning of this fight. So one of the keys to victory was Taka getting on Baron before that fight started, and they never had the chance. That's credit to the captain over here for Element Team Ice. Really good stuff. Congratulations there.
Yeah, and before the Kraken even gets to the lane, they've already taken that anchor tower. Gabriel Luigi has lost his life in 3 hits. Ridiculous. And that's just going to be it. Turek, the next target. This Baron just dishing out work. There's another. And the double as the one-shot connects. Nowhere to go for Paul George. The ace comes through. It is going to be GG's here. Element Ice progressing forward in the VGL Challenger Series. And unfortunately for Robocop ITA, this is where their story ends. We say goodbye to them. Scoundrel. Element Ice, though, through to the next round.
Wow. That was dominant from a team that, definitely didn't look like they were struggling out of the gates. Fantastic performance from Element Ice. They take that game absolutely cleanly. Let's have a look at the item breakdowns. That was the Breaking Point double turrets monocle 0 defense items for Baron, and they got that with ease. No one, not even the Taka, threatening him. And when you have a Baron who's got this many items and Attacker isn't even threatening him, I don't think there was much hope in the world for Robocop. Didn't even need to get a reflex block, really didn't actually itemize shielding until a little bit later on. You could tell he felt safe as pie with the Lyra healing alone. Really fantastic
Ultimately,
performance.
Though, I feel like if you're winning even if you're losing a game, if you're building defense on Baron, that's only going to secure your loss. Like this
You
is a
think
guy
so?
that has to build into offense for the reason.
I agree. I agree to an extent. I definitely think if I'm kind of even, a reflex block is needed in some situations.
Yeah. He
I
gets a
think,
free reflex block from the overdrive on his B. I hear what you're saying. Maybe if there's
yeah.
like multiple disables, but
I think, you know, like, there are some instances where reflex block is warranted on Baron. I agree that, and I often feel this is a little bit like Ringo. I feel like you need to go offensive to win. Like, I think the Ringo build here, even though he was behind, made a bit of. I mean, the Halcyon Chargers maybe not so much, but the critical strike build for me on the Ringo made sense because there is no armor that he's going up against, and he's realistically only chance of winning at this point in time is probably to try and get around and blow someone up quicker than he gets blown up. So I think the critical strike build on the Ringo was perfectly acceptable. I mean, people might look at that and say, "Oh, why has he gone that build path?" I'm like, well, it's probably fine in this situation because the only way he wins is by blowing someone up, and the only way you're going to blow someone up is by going critical strike. And there's no armor, so it kind of made sense.
or realizing like 10 minutes into the game that you should have gone CP.
CP Ringo. Yeah, I think CP Ringo could have been good here. And then what? Then just gone like a weapon power tackle, or even just stuck with this Stormcrown tackle?
I think they could have done the same build on Taco with
Yeah.
with the true CP Ringo, and you just burst one of these targets down, preferably Baron, in the beginning of every fight.
Totally agree with you there. And that does mean that we do have a 2-0 victory here for Element Ice. They will be the victors of this series. We will see them next week, and that means we're unfortunately going to wave goodbye to RoboCop. They'll be gone. They are out of the loser bracket, which means they won't be returning to our tournament. And speaking of returning to the tournament, we have next week to talk about. Next week we'll have on March the 14th the winner round 3 and the loser round 3 and 4. So we're going to have 2 matches hopefully from the winners bracket round 3, and then we're going to have 2 matches hopefully from the losers bracket round 3 and 4, followed by the next day where we'll have 2 matches from the winners bracket round 4, and then some matches from the losers bracket round 5 and 6. And that essentially closes up our group stage tournament, and then we'll be moving into the playoffs the week afterwards. So loads and loads of really cool games coming your way, guys, and make sure you check that out. Before I go, I do want to give you a quick look at our giveaway that we have going on right now. So we're going to just show you that to you guys. I have talked about it before, but for those of you that haven't had a chance to check it out, it's the winner of this will win 2 Elgato HD60S. So we actually have 2 Elgato HD60Ss to give away over the course of the split. And we also have a weekly 9,000 ice giveaway. If you go down to that link in the bottom of your screen, vaingloryleague.com, you'll be able to enter into that. And why wouldn't you? It's an absolutely amazing giveaway. And also, this is just a cool thing that I wanted to talk about. I haven't talked about it since the start of the stream, so it's probably good to have a look at it again. The winner of this split will win a lion's share of $2,500, so they'll win the biggest portion of that prize pool. There's also another $2,500 for the next split. But they also win this super cool VGL custom printed HD60S capture card. Not only does it have the Vainglory League logo and a little red motif background, it also has the winning hero composition. You get the winning hero composition that you won VGL with on your capture card to take with you as a memento for getting yourself into those challenge battles, ready to take on professional teams for your spot in the Vainglory 8 League. So, my word, lots of cool stuff by Vainglory League coming up in the next few months.
Casters get one of those?
We don't, unfortunately, mate. We don't. We get a pat on the
Dang.
back and say, well done.
All right, rip.
Rip. So just to go over what we've seen today, guys, as we should do a little bit of a roundup. I'm just going to update the scores here so we have it come up on the screen correctly. And yep, here we go. So today we have seen Lemon and Lime 2-1 over Memento and Mori. We've eventually got into that game after I realised I could use Dalsy to help me function on a Mac computer. We also had Waves versus THN Envy, another 2-1. Loads of big, long 25-minute plus games today, guys. Lots and lots of stuff happening in that sense. And then we also had RoboCop ITA versus Element Ice, and that was actually a fairly quick 2-0 by Element Ice. It really didn't have to make us wait too long for the conclusion of that match. So helped us move things along. Really, really, really fantastic set of games. I've got to say, Lemon and Lime look strong. Waves, even though THN Envy put up a really good fight, they look strong as well. It's been a really awesome set of games today, guys. I've really, really enjoyed it. I hope both of you have enjoyed it as well. Dalsy and Humanist, have you enjoyed today?
I have. It's been great fun. Looking forward to a time I get to visit EU once more, off to NA later on tonight to do the same. So
Oh,
we'll have
that'll
to
be
see
good.
what their Challenger Series is doing over there.
EU greater than NA, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Humanist there, like, yeah, good luck at Worlds, mate.
Oh, I thought my mic was muted. Sorry, we're on the EU broadcast. I also had fun today. Nice long games. They were very competitive. It was fun to see. And also had a good time casting with Dalcia. That was my first time getting paired up with him.
Fantastic, guys. Well, that concludes it from us. Talking done. You can get rid of Big Scoundrel's face as we're going to go into our ending. It's going to be, I guess it's an emotional moment. It's an emotional moment for me, Twitch chat. I mean, got to wait a whole week before I see you again. Or rather 6 days. It's a long time. And I won't get to hear Humanist and Dalcy's voice for a little while either, potentially. So it's emotional. Thank you so much for watching this week of VGL. And I will see you next week on the 14th of March at 14th of March at 6 o'clock CET. It's been fantastic. We'll see you then.
My team.